and welcome to episode 344 of the Super Ultra Podcast Arcade for September 19th, 2021. I am one of your co-hosts, Daniel Nicholson, and with me is my co-host, Dominic Stallworth. What's going on this week, Dominic?
All right, man. It's been an all right week. It's been okay, not too hot. But it's just funny because, it gets a little humid, but it's not really hot. But then we get some cool nights. So it's like the fallish weather.
We're getting
fall-ish. Yeah. But we got some sad news that happened. Comedian Norm Macdonald passed away at 61. He was battling cancer. I didn't even know he was battling cancer.
I don't think anybody did, yeah.
Yeah, something he probably kept to himself. Or, he didn't talk about a lot. Because somebody did. I remember somebody said he did the joke. But maybe it was an inside joke. Maybe it was something that wasn't on television.
Yeah, I did see that joke where he was talking about, fighting cancer. At the end, it's kind of like a draw. Yeah, a draw.
Yeah,
because
you die and the cancer dies.
Yep.
But yeah, it's I always liked Norm Macdonald. I saw a little bit of him on SNL on Weekend Update, but I was really young, so I didn't really get all the jokes then.
Yeah,
but I remember seeing him on different shows. I remember seeing him on Drew Carey. He was a guest star up there. He was like Drew Carey's bully. And yeah, because I remember when Drew Carey, he finally stood up to him and he still beat him up. And Drew Carey said, "My mom was lying." He said that bullies were really just cowards. He's a very brave bully. He's a very brave bully. But when he had his show, it was short lived, only 3 seasons, but I watched it. I liked it. I liked it for those 3 seasons that I was on, and seeing other things. Of course, the most recent one is Mike Tyson Mysteries as the Pigeon. And then he had a talk show on Netflix. I never watched it though.
Oh, really?
Where he was talking to special guests and things of that nature. I don't know how long that lasted, but yeah, I saw that. I mean, I saw one of his stand-ups, and I don't know if that was his last one, but it has to be the most recent one. The one like Hitler's Dog, it was called, and that was pretty funny. I did like it, but yeah. Sad to see him go.
Absolutely.
And young. I mean, 61 is it's not old, man. I mean, it's not old. I mean, people live past 61. So, I mean, because my parents are older than 61, and your mom's like 92. So yeah, see, we all, wow. People live past. What? What's so funny? Oh, how old is she? I'm sorry, I got that wrong.
Not quite 92. Not quite.
But anyway. So what else we got here? I guess I'll just go right into sports. All right, so we have football, NFL, the first weekend. My Washington team lost. The Ravens lost. So local teams both lost. But the Washington team played a Thursday night game in which they won. So I'm happy about that, even though they should have lost the game. But thank God the Giants made mistakes and they blew it. Because we missed the field goal that would have won it. But somebody jumped offside, so the Giants, and gave us a second chance. And I was like, oh, there's a God. There is a God. I said, there you go. So I was like, because if we would start 0-2, I would have been singing the blues today. I would have been talking about how, okay, I hope we lose every game from now on so we can get
just get that top pick.
Yeah, just get that top pick now. That's exactly what I would have said. Because I was like, Giants are one of the worst teams in the league. I was like, if we had loose talks to them, I was like, okay, forget this season. This is over with. Let's just focus on next year. Let's just trade everybody. So, as our defense has been stouted as top 5 defense.
Oh.
And right now, we are not top 5. We are giving up yards like crazy. We're not getting a lot of touchdowns. We get up quite a few touchdowns, but not a lot. Because if Giants would have scored actual touchdowns instead of kicking field goals, they would have won that game. But we did stop them from getting touchdowns, but we just can't get no pressure on the quarterback. They get down the field, and then we have a pretty good, maybe you should say, goal line defense. But I don't want to have just a goal line defense. I want to be able to go 3 and out. The Giants didn't punt a lot, and it kind of pissed me off. It's y'all kept talking about this defense. That was the best thing about this team, was this defense. And now I'm saying, this is the same shit I've seen other years. It's not even good as last year. So, as of right now, I hope things get better. But our backup quarterback, Heineke, because our starting quarterback got hurt the first weekend. But me and like some other fans, we weren't that upset. Like, I'm sad for him that the quarterback got hurt. And I did want to see Fitzpatrick. I want to see how he did with this team. But Heineke was the guy that looked good end of last year. Right. The guy who did great in the playoffs against Tom Brady. And he did great in another previous game. So some people was like, hey, I kind of want to see Heineke, see what he can do. And he showed that he's pretty good. Like, he got some good plays going in that first game against the Chargers. And this game, he got us in the game now. And, like, he got us the lead. I mean, he got us down the field to get a field goal. Now, he did throw an interception. He threw one interception that was crucial. Like, he was the best thing on the field, except for the wide receiver that was actually catching the balls, McLaurin. But he made up for that interception. He got us back downfield to get the field goal and win the game. So, yeah, he deserves, like, I think McLaurin probably should get the game ball, but he's like number 2. Yeah, McLaurin, our wide receiver, he's been great, like, ever since he's a rookie. Nice. And he's just a guy, like, I wish they would just either sign him now, give him a nice contract, nothing ridiculous, because he's going to get a point. He's going to want a ridiculous contract, and then we might overpay him, or probably not overpay him, but pay him so much that we can't get anybody else.
Right.
Or he'll go to another team. Because another team will be like, hey, we'll pay him this money, and then we'll lose him. So I'm like, get this guy now. He is good. So, yeah, I mean, you know what? I didn't do my predictions this year about, like, what I think what's going to happen this season. I didn't think the Washington team was going to win the division. I had the Cowboys winning. So that's not going to be a surprise if they don't win. I did have them winning 8 games, which will be a losing record now because now we're playing 17 games. Mm-hmm. So I had them being 8-9. I still kind of leaning towards that, but we'll see if they get any better. The team I think can win a Super Bowl. Honestly, I don't know. Like, I have no idea. I would just say the Chiefs, just for the hell of it. The Chiefs are going to win a Super Bowl. They should have won last year because Tom Brady cheated. So they'll win this year. And it'll be the Chiefs versus, let me see, what team I'm going to pick. I'm going to say the Chiefs versus the Rams. I'm going to say Chiefs versus the Rams. That's going to be the Super Bowl. And then the Chiefs are going to win. Wait a minute. Who the Chiefs beat? It was the 49ers they beat. Yeah, they beat the 49ers in the Super Bowl when they won 2 years ago. The Rams won 3 years ago and lost to the Patriots. Okay. The Ravens, I'm rooting for them. Because, I'm rooting for really Lamar Jackson. Like, I like Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. And people are now getting a little down on him. Like, they think he's not... hold on real quick. Sure. So, what was I talking about? Football. Yeah, so, like, those are my predictions. I'm just going to say it's going to be the Chiefs versus the Rams. And that's it. Oh, yeah, I was talking about Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. I am rooting for because people are kind of down on him. And because they're saying, like, can he be the guy, like, to really make a... Like, he's a good quarterback, but can he become a great one?
Right.
Like, can he really take over? Well, the thing is, one problem is that their offensive line doesn't seem like it's that good from the first game anyway. So because he was running, and it wasn't like made like he wasn't doing it on
purpose.
Yeah. He was like being chased. So hopefully the offensive line would get better, and maybe the Raiders' defensive line is pretty good. I don't know because it's the first game of the season, so it's kind of hard to tell what's going to be going down the line. Mm-hmm. But yeah, it was a good week. It was a fun week watching football. College football, Alabama's still undefeated. They played a good game against Florida. Well, Florida played a good game against them, I should say, but they couldn't do it. They were in Gainesville, I believe. It's Gainesville, right? Isn't that where the University of Florida is?
I think so.
Yeah. So I'm called Gatorland. It's in Gatorland. But anyway, they couldn't do it. I was rooting for them. Maryland is undefeated still. They beat Illinois. I forgot when they played. I think it was during a weekday, maybe. Because I thought it was on Saturday, but I already saw the score. The score was already done by the time the 12 o'clock game was on. So I was like, oh, they must have played. I must have missed it. I didn't know. But, yeah, so that's good. Only 3 more games, and they have a bowl game. So all Maryland has to do is win 3 more games to get a bowl game. Even though, I want better than that. But, hey, I'll take what I can get as of right now because all my teams I like pretty much suck. Because the Orioles are... Well, actually, I don't know if the Orioles still have the worst record in baseball.
Really?
Let me see. I think they're fighting with Arizona.
It's worse. Wow.
Yeah, Arizona was worse at one point because Orioles were like over them. Orioles are 47 and 101. Yeah, 101 Dalmatians. All right. No, the Orioles are the worst because Arizona is 48 and 100. So we are fighting for the worst. It should be like a playoff game for the worst teams. So who would get like the dunce cap?
Yeah, it's a loser's bracket. And then you can come back in and win the whole thing.
No, they ain't gonna do that.
Like fighting game tournaments.
But the Yankees, yes, they are technically out. If the playoffs were happening today, they'll be technically out. So I'm rooting for them to not be in the playoffs this year. I'm hoping Boston and Toronto will take their place. Looks like that'll be the only 2 teams. Or somehow Oakland comes back and win, get back into it. Which, it's kind of hard, but it can be done. But yeah, the favorite teams are still, Dodgers and the Giants. Man, it's going to be amazing. Like, these 2 teams might win 100 games. But one of those teams are going to have to be in a 1-game playoff. And I know some people are debating, like, is that fair? Like, if you win 100 games, why are you in a 1-game playoff? Mm-hmm. Like, I kind of wish, that's why I wish it was just by rankings. Like, you get in the playoffs, but after that, you go by records. Because it's just like, because I was like, Dodgers shouldn't be in a 1-game playoff. Or the Giants, if the Giants fall back and fall to the wild card. Like, y'all the 2 best teams in the league. It just doesn't seem right that you're in a 1-game playoff, but that's just how it is. That's just how it goes. But yeah, so that's baseball. Tampa Bay is the best team in the American League as far as records go. So good for them. The place is so funny. Like, Tampa Bay is the best team in the American League, probably with the worst damn attendance.
I was going to say, nobody gets to see them, though.
Yeah, I'm curious, what's worse, their attendance or like the Baltimore attendance? Mm-hmm. And I wouldn't be surprised if Tampa Bay was still worse. All right, so that's all I really have to say. I get really no other news. Anything basketball happen? Nothing of note that I could think of. Yeah. So, any big wrestling news? Anything happen?
Nothing big this week. Just fallout from the pay-per-view with AEW. Bryan Danielson now is going to be challenging Kenny Omega next Friday on their Rampage show. They're doing a big New York show for Dynamite and Rampage this coming week at Arthur Ashe Stadium, which I think is where they do like the U.S. Open or something like that. I think it's like a tennis place. So
it is. Arthur Ashe is a tennis player.
That would make sense.
He's the most famous black tennis player.
Oh. See, I know nothing about tennis.
Racist.
And I'm racist, apparently.
Yes.
Racist against tennis. Yeah, so they're gonna have those big shows. I think that's a non-title match right now, so there's a chance that Daniel Bryan might win. Bryan Danielson. Gotta get used to saying that. But yeah, overall those shows should be pretty good. They got some big matches. WWE stuff. Oh, no, I'm sorry. There is something actually happening in WWE because they're like, oh shit, people are watching AEW, so we got to do something. They had Big E cash in the Money in the Bank, which he won at the pay-per-view, and win the title off of Bobby Lashley. So Big E is currently your WWE champion. So that's very nice.
Okay.
And they're doing like a European tour right now, so I think they're sort of shorthanded on talent that'll be on TV next week because I don't think they're filming that stuff. So they're going to do the New Day, Big E, Kofi, and Xavier versus the Bloodline, which is Roman Reigns and the Usos. So that should actually be pretty incredible, despite the fact that it's going to be on TV and there will be commercials in between. But yeah, otherwise WWE is kind of trash still right now. But that's pretty exciting. Big E's a good dude. Seemingly everybody was coming out afterwards, like from all the companies, just talking about how excited they were to see Big E finally get the title. So it's very cool.
I'm looking at something, article. I think this a woman named Renee Parquette or something like that.
Yes, she is formerly. Fuck, I don't even remember what her name was on WWE now. She is Jon Moxley's wife, and she what the fuck was her name? Renee, I can't remember. But yeah, she was like the interviewer and also had a short stint on commentary on WWE for a while there.
Yeah, she said thinks that Big E's push may be due to AEW nipping at the heels of WWE.
Yeah, I mean, that's what a lot of people are saying, because it was literally like Bobby Lashley had a match against Randy Orton Monday, but like Monday morning, Big E just tweeted like, "Yo, I'm gonna cash in tonight." So it was like, it felt very just out of the blue. And obviously, like, when you have the Money in the Bank contract, like, everything is usually kind of out of the blue. Like, it's a surprise cash in usually. Unless it's somebody that's like, I'm challenging you in the main event of WrestleMania. But you don't get that too often. So to kind of do the surprise thing, but also give people the heads up that they should probably watch by having Big E tweet that out, it kind of, it kind of makes you think like, oh yeah, they're dipping lower in the ratings. Cause I think based on like demographic or something like that, Dynamite did better than Raw last week or something like that. So, yeah, I mean, WWE's still making.
So that's the first time.
So.
That's the first time it's beaten it.
Yes, but it was specifically in like demographic, like 19 to 35 or whatever that nonsense is. Like numbers that people don't actually really care about unless you're a TV exec. Or some like rabid fan that has to prove that.
Well, that's the people I talk to. People I associate with. No, the 18 to 35.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So. Yeah, that's kind of where.
Oh damn! I'm out of that demographic now. Oh shit! I remember I used to be part of that demographic, Daniel.
You used to be part of the most important demographic, Dominic. Now you're falling off. That's what happens. Age gets us all.
All right. So I guess we'll move on to what we're watching. So you didn't watch the What If?
I watched What If, yeah. I watched What If and I saw the Hawkeye trailer. Did you see that?
No.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It seems like they're doing like a Christmas timey thing, which is appropriate for when that's releasing, like the end of November.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm familiar with the Matt Fraction comics that they're basing it off of, where they introduce Kate Bishop, but I haven't actually read them, so I'm intrigued to see what they do with that, if it's similar to that comic or if they, kind of borrow things from it and go their own route the way MCU kind of does all the time.
All right. So I guess I'll just talk about what I watched and then we go into What If.
Yeah, we can spoil the shit out of that.
So, like I have up here Anime Rabbit Hole, because I've been watching anime. I've been watching anime for a while now, though. I just haven't been talking about it. Like different types of anime.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly just the mainstream TV shows. I was watching Naruto, and I have to say with Naruto, I think I talked about this before, though, but it has a lot of filler.
Yeah.
Like, actually, the first series, because it's Naruto, and I don't know what the subtitle is. I think it's just Naruto, and then it's Naruto Shippuden, whatever it's called.
Shippuden or something like that.
And, and that's when he's a little bit older. Everybody's older, like a few years later, like 3 years later from that time it ended or whatever. So, it's like, I don't know what season it was, but whenever they finish, where Sasuke, his frenemy, I guess you'd call, like they always were rivals, I should say. When he left the village, which is kind of like in the first half of all those seasons. Mm-hmm. So I think it's like a total of 9 seasons. So I know it's within like the first half of the seasons when he leaves. After that, it was seemed like everything was worthless. Like, I mean, not that it was bad. It's just that it wasn't really part of the main storyline. Like all these other stories. And I was like, good God. Because then when it ended, I'm thinking like, okay, this is the last season. I guess I won't see Sasuke again. Still didn't see him. He said, God, he's still gone? And then Naruto said, I'm going to go on and train with Pervy Sage. Well, he calls him Pervy Sage because the sage is always looking at ladies. So he calls him him Pervy Sage.
At least they're self-aware.
So he's going to train, and then that's when they do the Naruto Shippuden series. When he comes back, he's older. Everybody else is older, and that's when they start really going to. That's when the storyline seems to pick up big time now. When they start going to things that I'm interested in. I was like, good God! So they went through like almost like 5 years or something of just shit, and then they go to this. I said, man. I said, that's a lot of stuff. I mean, it was, like I said, it wasn't bad, but like, when I'm like into this story that y'all trying to tell, and then y'all just kind of just go away from it, I mean, you can look at it as being like, okay, Naruto's training now. Like, he's doing these other missions, and he's kind of growing. But he kind of doesn't really grow that much. He's still freaking, like, he's still headstrong and things of that nature. I mean, he's still who he is. He's just a little bit stronger, like, just physically. But I was like, that is so weird that you do that. I mean, so like, I've never seen a show do that before, have done that before. Like, you just really just go away from the main story. Like, I could see like you just deviate a little bit. Like, okay, there's a little side story happening. Then you move back. Y'all went through like seasons of just side story. I said, that's crazy. Anyway, so I've been watching that. Also, I've been watching One Piece. One Piece, I went through a lot. I finished all the episodes on Netflix, but that's not all of them. Apparently, I don't know why. I guess Netflix didn't have the rights to the other episodes. I don't know what's going on with that, but it is on Hulu. So I was like, oh, I can watch them on Hulu now. Even though I don't like watching them on Hulu because Netflix is the best app out of all of them as far as interface. There's no interface better than Netflix. And thing is, like, compare like Disney, HBO Max on Roku is the worst.
HBO Max period is I wouldn't say the worst, but it's pretty bad. It's slow. It's bad.
I don't know what's worse than it though. From the apps I use, I don't know what's worse than it.
Apple TV is not great.
Oh, okay. Oh no, I just started, but the thing is, I don't really watch it. I was just testing it out. So okay, so that's the worst. So I can see that being worse. All right. So yeah, HBO Max is as far as the one I use regularly is the worst. Hulu's not that great. It's okay. It's probably the second best, maybe, but it's not that great. It's just that I don't get why they can't just be better. I don't get it. Like that, Netflix has been out there for so long. Like I think y'all should be just copying them. But whatever. But so I've been watching One Piece up there. One Piece is fun. One Piece, I like how every character is detailed. Like they have their own backgrounds. They have their own reasons of going on this long, adventurous voyage. They're all like a close-knit family, and you see how the series grows, how their relationship grow as the series continues. You see how they really become connected to each other, and you get like, you see like their interactions, like you really appreciate like their camaraderie. And yeah, and it's surprisingly well written. Like it seems very kiddish. Even though I think it's a little more violent than what your normal kid type of shows are, but that's just how anime seems like it is. Except for like Pokemon. But yeah, it's really well written. Like I would think this is just a kooky. It looks like it from the outset, like it's really kooky and just cartoonish. But I mean, it's a balance. It's a balance between that, like being really cartoonish and also having a very good story, like having those serious moments too, in there. So that it's, I mean, kind of like how Dragon Ball Z is. 'Cause they have those funny moments, but then they'd be serious. Like, it's the same as that, but I think it's definitely well written, and I'm having more connection to these stories than a Dragon Ball Z story. One Piece is it's very comical. So they have those big fight scenes just like they do and have all these animes and stuff like that happen. But it's really about like friendship and stuff like that. Like these people been together. Like since I watched all the episodes, it's like, oh, now I see like how they develop these characters as the show goes along. I think they do a good job with that. How they become friends and how they are friends together. Like all the things they've been through together on these trips. I mean, all these voyages they've been doing and all these adventures and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's pretty cool. Like with Naruto, it's weird because they treat like Naruto like shit. And I mean, you know why? You know why? Because he has the Demon Fox in him. I mean, no. Well, no, actually, they don't know he has Demon Fox. His friends, his so-called friends don't know that. They didn't know that till later on. Like some of the villagers knew that, but they were told to keep it a secret, not to tell him. They said, don't ever speak of it again. If you speak of it, you will be punished. So that's why people were kind of not being around him, or parents would say, "Hey, don't play with him" or something. But eventually, people they be around him and stuff. But thing is, they just didn't like him because he would always fail in classes. He would always not be able to do none of the some of the martial arts well and things of that nature, the jitsu and stuff like that. So they'd be like, "Oh, he's a loser" and stuff like that. But he always proves them wrong. And then eventually, I guess they became attached to him. People start getting attached to him then when he started doing things right. But I never knew why he thought Sasuke as his friend because they never really done anything to be friendly. I mean, they have when the fights happened, they defended each other. But it was just like, it always felt like, hey, we're part of the same village, so we're going to defend each other because we're part of the same village. But when they're not defending each other, they're always rivaling each other. But I guess that's just a different type of friendship. I guess it's a friendship of hey, you're my rival, but when they're not buddies, don't go eat ramen together or something like that. I don't know. It's just I don't get it. But it's kind of different with One Piece. One Piece, these guys are friends. I mean, they fight and stuff like that too, but they're friends. So it's a cool show. It's it's something. It's like a guilty pleasure. I'm watching these most of the time while I'm doing something. These shows because they're anime. So a lot of things is just them talking a lot. Not a lot of action happening. And shit takes forever. Now, Naruto's the worst. I mean, it might be up there with Dragon Ball Z. It might be worse than Dragon Ball Z. I'm not sure.
Oh, boy.
Because they'll be on this same fight or something for episodes. And, just staring matches. Now, see, with Netflix, you can put it to 1.5 speed on your computer. So that's what I start doing. And I have this app on Google that can make any video faster. So I've been on Hulu because Hulu doesn't have that where you can make the shows faster. But I just use this app. Man, putting that shit on 1.5 speed or even 2 times sometimes makes it so much better. And these episodes, you realize Naruto is a very short show. Those shows are short when you put it that fast. Man, there ain't much happening in these shows. It's literally going to be 3 episodes. It's probably just a regular half-hour show for a normal American show. So, yeah, I love watching that stuff like that. What other show? So I watch One Piece, Naruto. I also watch One Punch Man.
Oh, okay.
Because I want to know what the hell this is about. How do you like a show where a guy just kills somebody with one punch?
Right.
Well, I guess because he doesn't get to the bad guys all the time. By the time other heroes do. It might be other heroes fighting him, and then he'll finally get there, and then he'll punch him. It's more of a comedy though. It's funny. It's make fun of kind of the it makes fun of the superhero work really. And he has this protege. Well, this guy because he saw how strong he was. The cyborg. He was hey, I want to be under you. I want to work with you. You can teach me. He was oh, okay. He's just so nonchalant. He just trained hard because of, I think he got beat up by this villain or something. I'm trying to remember. I forgot how it ended. I think he did win, but he barely won. He saved somebody. So he said he was going to train very hard. And then he trained so hard and made him lose his hair, apparently. I don't know. But he's just so strong now. And now he's just so, when it starts, he just feels so empty because he feel like he just can beat anybody. And then nobody knows him because he was thinking like, wait a minute, I saved all these people and stuff, but nobody knows me. Nobody knows I did it. And that's when his little cyborg guy, I say little, the cyborg's bigger than him. He's just that cyborg's strong, but just like nobody's stronger than One Punch Man. He just punches once. He told him that if there's a hero service, like you got to sign up for this hero service, like it's like a whole thing of like being part of the system where it's like Class C heroes, Class B heroes,
okay,
which is kind of like almost Heroes Academia, really, with that. So, well, I'll get to that too. So he joined, but since he failed the written part, I guess he did really bad at it. But he was way off the charts on the physical stuff. He was a Class C hero. So, but the guy who was to learn from him, he's a Class A hero because he's a cyborg. So it's easy for him to know the written stuff and everything. And he was strong. He's relatively strong. So, but he did move up to, I'm at the part where he moved up to B. He did move up to B. But it's really comical, like how they go with it. Like you'll just, at one point, like you see like a villain come up and these other heroes are fighting and they're getting beat up and stuff or something like that. And then he'll come and he'll be talking to himself about something like, oh man, I got to hurry up and get to the grocery store and do something. And then he said like, and then like the guy's like, why you ignoring me? Something like that. And then he'll just come and just punch him and then they die. And then something like that. And then it's like, and say, I have to go to the grocery store. And say, is it still time? And then the guy said, yes, you still got about 5 minutes. Okay, just hurry up. And then it's like, he just leaves. So it's like, it's pretty good. Like, so, I see. I'm thinking like this show gotta be stupid because who's gonna like a show where the guy just wins with one punch all the time? But it's not that simple. It's not like that's not what it's just about. But it's comical, and people still don't know how strong he is. Like they still look at him like a B hero, like the A heroes, because they don't know what he can do. Mm-hmm. And then people will blame him when something go wrong. Like he saved the city from an asteroid, but thing is, he didn't get there in time. Well, because they didn't call him, because he's a Class C hero, so he couldn't go. But I think eventually we saw that the Class A's or S's, whatever, weren't destroying it. He finally came, but by the time he hit it, it exploded to smaller, meteors and still destroyed the city. But nobody died though. Thing is, there was no loss of life. So if he would have not did it at all, people would have died. But then a person who was jealous of him started like making like a riot saying like, hey, he destroyed our city. He did this and blah, 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 and something like that. Cause he's a hero who's jealous of him. Mm. And cause he's Class C too. And he was like, yeah, I'm gonna make people hate him and not him look him as a hero. And then like, he got a little upset with that, but then he changed his tune because all the Class even A's were fighting this villain, this fish villain who was super strong. He was kicking everybody's butt. Then he came along and he beat him. But one dude was like, yo, this sucks because we pay all these taxes to these heroes and a Class C guy came and beat this guy. That guy wasn't that strong then. That means that these rankings mean nothing. It was looking bad for heroes, but what he did was play it off. He said, oh, I'm so glad those heroes weakened this guy for me. I would never beat him. So it helped him in that. So I was like, oh, okay. So he really doesn't care about the glory too much. I mean, he cares about, but then he saw like, I guess at that moment he was like, yeah, this is not good for the heroes and stuff like that. Cause they sacrifice themselves for them and there's people about to still shit on them. And he was like, yeah, I'm going to make it good for them. And I was like, okay, so it's something there. Yeah. It's something more to this show than I thought. And the last show I watched was, I've been watching is My Hero Academia. I've been watching that series. And that show is pretty good. It's very, I don't know how these shows are because they seem like they could be for like younger kids, but then they curse, and then I'm like, but it seems like it didn't have to. It's like why'd you curse? Like it was so unnecessary. It's like you
to make the teenagers feel better about watching this cartoon, though.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's for teenagers. Maybe that's what it is. Because they say shit and stuff occasionally, not all the time. But it's just like, why? It's like you didn't really have to say it. I mean, it's, at first I don't care because I'm an adult. But I'm looking at it shows like this could appeal to younger kids if we didn't just for the random curse words you say in this show. That's it. I mean, of course you're gonna say violence, but man, we've been watching Power Rangers, so get the whatever, man. People watching Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, and all that stuff, and so violence has been around. So yeah, America don't care about violence. It's really just sex and cursing, basically. But yeah, My Hero Academia, it's a show. I mean, I think I talked about this before though. It's a show about heroes. Like almost like 90% of the world is heroes. I mean, they have powers, I should say. 90% of the world has powers, but a lot of powers are pretty much pointless, you know. And so not everybody becomes a hero. Like some people, they got at schools and things of that nature for people to become heroes. And just like some of One Punch, they have like then you sign up, you get you gotta have a hero's license, all that shit. So. That's where this guy comes in. Deku is his hero name. I forgot his real name. So he wants to be a hero. He has no powers at the time though. And like he was upset because he loves heroes and things like that. But he was one of the few people that didn't have powers. But All Might, which is supposed to be the greatest hero, he gave him some of his power. Because that's how that power works with him. And usually nobody knows that. Like only a few people know that's how the power works. With All Might is that it's transferred, not born with. Like everybody else's power is born with. His is transferred. So now he's training with All Might's power. And like he's always hurted himself because he's not control the strength of All Might. And All Might's powers are weird because, I mean, the power is like Superman, like really strong, you know, and shit like that. But you know how anime, they always got to call out what they're doing. Apparently. And his power is like Detroit Slam, or it's like all cities, or like I'm trying to think what was the other one, like Manhattan Crush, or something like that. And then in some ways, like I think one of his powerful ones, like United States, or something like that. Something I said, I'm trying to Japan. Why are you talking about freaking like Detroit Slam? And now I wonder, is it Detroit Slam in Japan?
Yeah,
or is that just how they say it here, or it's like cities in Japan, like Tokyo Slam or something. Yeah. So I don't know, but maybe it is, and that is just funny him saying that. But anyway, yeah, that show it's pretty good. I do like it. Though I don't like how they make the main character cry a lot. He's always getting emotional. He just cries way too much for me. Like every time something good happens or bad, like he'd be like excited. Oh man, this is I'm living my dream, and he used to start crying. I was like the first time was good. It's okay, yeah, I understand. After a while, he started crying, but I was like, okay, man, you got just cut down the waterworks, all right? Because I mean, dude, like you're crying more than a woman now. Like you like the stereotypical like woman crying. It's like nobody cries this much. That's why I just don't get. Like, why is this man crying all the time? It's like, come on. It's like you're making it so when it's really an emotional scene, it's not that big because it's like, this dude cries all the time. It's
he's cried wolf too many times.
It's like,
he's literally cried about the wolf.
So, other than that, though, the show is fine. Yeah, I like it. I'm trying to. Oh yeah, but when they were training. Even when they're training, they say, like, they were trying to develop their powers. And they say, hey, because all heroes got to have, like, a special move. So you have to do, like, 2 of them. And you have to name them. So the guy said some name. It was kind of hard to say. He said, well, see. You say, well, you have to say a name that you can really say because you got to say it while you're fighting. But I was thinking, like, why? Why do you have to say the name while you're fighting? I said, I'm thinking like that's just for TV shows why they say the name, right? Because like it just sounds good to say like, "Hey, I'm about to do the ultimate slam" or something. But I'm thinking in reality, you don't supposed to say anything. You just fight. Like, why would you tell somebody you're about to like I'm about to do ultimate slam? Like this is my ultimate slam. I was like, no. I was waiting for somebody to say like, oh, I'm not going to say what I'm doing. It's like I'm just going to go do it. But it's like, oh, you got to say the name of it. It's like, why you got to say the name? It's like, doesn't make any sense. You don't have to say the name of your move when you're about to do it. The Superman don't say I don't know if he has a name for his moves. Like, oh, he says like ice breath. Ooh, like I don't see him say ice breath when he does the ice breath. Or Batman said, I got to do the batarang, and then he throws it. It's like, I guess this is like, I just want to know why was that always a thing in Japan? People saying what they're going to do. Like, when did that come about? Or is that really what Japanese people did when they fought? Did they say like, I'm
even
about
back to the samurais, Dominic? Horizontal slash.
Yeah.
And then, nope, I'm blocking it because he told me horizontal, but then you go vertical and then you kill the guy. That's what I did when I played Bushido Blade all the time.
But all these things, which has been a common anime since forever, it's always that you see someone beat somebody up really bad. Well, you think they did. And then they're like, yeah, I beat him. But then the guy gets up. He's like, how did he stop my unstoppable attack? And then they explain how they do it. Well, I'm not going to explain shit. I'm just going to stop it and beat you up. And you will never know how I stopped it. Because then it's like you always give them a chance to learn from their mistakes. Because then people because that's what they do. They say, yes, this person stopped me here. And now I know to stop them. Now I know I have to work on this. I'm like, why do the villains or the heroes say how they stop them too? Like how they stop their attacks. It's like, what are you doing? But that's anime. But I don't know. I just been just watching these shows just like while I'm either playing a game or doing something on my computer. I just have them on and just looking at them. Mm-hmm. I actually been enjoying them. Because ain't nothing else really to watch. There's no American shows on right now that I really care about. Well, actually, there is one that started. I just got to get to. See, I don't remember. Because shows been going off so long that I forget what shows are back on. I know HBO has some shows start recently.
Oh, really? Okay.
That I think I might get into. I mean, they had a lot of shows start recently. I mean, this is regular HBO shows.
Gotcha.
I just don't know them. I mean, I think some of them, but there's some that got rated pretty good. But I mean, I can't go by that because those tastes are just so different. All right. So I guess we can finally get into. Damn, I went too long on that. Get into the what if. So you can go ahead and start talking about it.
Yeah. So in this episode, basically the premise was Killmonger was there when Tony Stark got attacked in the desert. So instead of getting captured and building the first Iron Man suit, he basically is saved by Killmonger and then partners up with him to create anime robots, basically.
Yeah. Okay, so stop right there before we get to spoilers. Okay. So, how did you like this episode?
It was okay. It wasn't. It's probably near the bottom as far as my enjoyment.
Racist. Racist. It's like I stop. It's okay for me, but I don't think it's okay. I don't think it's for the same reasons as you. Okay. I'm going to say, but you can go ahead. I thought it was okay also, but I have my reasons. But go ahead.
So I like that they fundamentally changed an aspect of the universe that we know. Basically.
Oh, spoilers for now on, right?
Yeah.
Okay, spoilers.
So basically, by making Tony not go through this struggle in the desert and building the first Iron Man suit, he never changes as a person. He's still a war profiteer, and doesn't ever really, feel the need to become a hero. And then on the opposite side of it, Killmonger is kind of the same character that you see in the movie to an extent. He's manipulating his relationship with Tony to get something out of it. He gets those anime robots and then basically goes to retake Wakanda still.
Yeah, he's still the same guy.
Yeah. So that aspect of it is interesting. Them just having Killmonger basically kill Black Panther, kill Iron Man, well, kill Tony Stark because he doesn't become Iron Man.
And Rhodey.
It just seems like...
And Rhodey too.
Oh,
right?
yes.
Yeah.
And Rhodey as well. It just seems weird that then after those events, he goes back to Wakanda and T'Challa's like, oh, yeah, it's fine. It's welcome back, basically. Like, now he doesn't necessarily know these things happen.
That's about to say. He doesn't know.
But it's weird. It's a weird direction because, like, in the movies, he's very, very cautious of him returning because theoretically the events
he's dead.
What's that?
He's dead.
Oh, right. He is, isn't he? Yeah, obviously, because he dies in... Yeah. Okay. Never mind then. But you would think he would be apprehensive because the events of
I
him
agree with that,
killing
though.
He still killed his father. He still killed Killmonger's father and left the kid behind.
He killed... Yeah. So I agree with that, though. Yes. I would... It's a little too easy. Too easy.
So it just seems weird that, he's a little more trusting than everybody else because it seems like, sure, he's, kind of apprehensive about what's going on there. And I do like that at the end where she seemingly is teaming up with Pepper and, they're going to go after Killmonger once.
I don't like that at all.
No. Okay. So tell me why you don't like that aspect. Or tell me what you did and didn't like about this episode.
All right, so here's the thing. I can see why some people will see Killmonger as a villain. But for me, I was rooting for him the whole time. Like, not saying this is a good episode, though, but I was like, his motivation is really revenge. But... yeah, some points, which was points made in the movie about y'all, this group over here, black people were enslaved. They are treated as second-class citizens around the world. And you're just sitting here in the most advanced with the most advanced technology, most advanced civilization in the world. And you did nothing. I kind of like, fuck these guys. So Killmonger like taking over, and now he's going to help his people. I mean, he's getting revenge too, but he's going to help his people. I'm like, why don't I like him? Now, I don't like how he goes about it though. I don't feel like it should be World War III. I'm just saying it should be something like, I'm going to help my people.
Yeah.
Now, if you get in my way,
help them rise up, basically.
If you're going to get in my way, then it's going to be a problem. Mm-hmm. But if you don't, then it's all good. Like, it's not me. I'm not going to force war on you. But if you happen to just get in my way, then hey, whatever. Yeah. You'll see what happens. It's not going to be good for you. So. Yeah, I don't like that, but I think they have to do that because they can't make it so that you're for him, really. Yeah. Because if you make it so that, hey, what's he doing wrong? It kind of messes up the whole dynamic of Black Panther.
Who's like the actual hero here?
Hero, yeah, exactly. So they got to do that. Yeah. I don't like it personally, but that's just how they do it. Yeah. Anyway.
Because at the end of the day in the movie, basically, it's him going to the extreme that pushes Wakanda and T'Challa closer to the middle to then reach out and try and help these communities, right? So then it is like, oh, we're just trying to readjust and say that Black Panther is the hero. And I think that's part of my issue with this episode is that they kind of take that subtlety and nuance away from Killmonger. And with the context of the movie, you know what he's doing, but without it, this episode, he seems more villainous. Like, you see him killing all the heroes, and he doesn't really express what his plans are until like the very end, basically saying like,
but
oh, now that I've got the power.
Why he killed them is stuff I totally agree with. That's the bad thing. It's like, I only agree with you killing them unless you have to. Unless you have to kill them.
Yeah.
Because I don't even feel like you had to kill them. But the quotes he said while he killed them, they were all on the money for me. Like, what he said to Iron Man, like Iron Man said, like, we're the same. So how you saying? He said because we're both orphans,
right?
Who lost their fathers and stuff like that. And I like what he said is that, well, the thing is, you seeing us saying that how we are the same is like the problem.
Mm.
Like, you're not the same. I'm sorry. That's just surface level shit.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, no, you're not the same. Like you're not seeing that, and that's the way I see it. For a lot of black people, see that too. It's like, you know what? Yes, you don't see it. You're thinking because like
we share a couple of experiences. Then we're all of a sudden,
Saying no, the experiences of a black man and experiences of black people, and experience of white people, they are different, man. You may got some surface levels. You got some things that may be similar, but it's different.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Tony's dad died and he inherited billions of dollars. Killmonger's dad died and he's left in the streets by himself.
Exactly. Like after the single mama who had to take care of him.
Mm-hmm.
Which I wish they would have delved more into that too. How he was brought up after his father died.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I knew that.
Well, also, good news for you, Dominic. We're going to get a Killmonger origin story at some point, I'm sure. That character is just too popular to just leave on the table, Dominic. Disney.
I don't see how that could work out for Disney. I don't see that can be a Disney movie without it being. It will be horrible. I mean, I can't see it being good, being a Disney movie. It would have to be like the people who did Daredevil do this shit, or something. Luke Cage. It can't be people who done these other Disney movies.
It won't be Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
It can't be like for kids.
Yeah.
But anyway, so then you have him with Rhodey when he was talking about, I forgot the exact lines, but Rhodey basically saying on all the lines like trying to fix things from the inside, like because he's like trying to change in the inside.
Yeah,
now
you said you can't fix the system without being part of the system or something. Part of the system.
That. Yeah. So here's the thing. This is an argument I always had for some years. Like, I hear people always say that. Like, hey, change the system from the inside. Like, you get in there, you make some changes. Please show me an example when that has ever happened. I need an example of when that happened so I can feel better about it.
Yeah.
Thing is, I have never, ever in the history of this country had ever seen that happen with somebody going into someplace and they changed it from the inside, especially from black people. I never seen that. The police is still the same. Still the same. School system is horrible. I mean, we could look at Dharma City. You can look at our news, man. Right now, what's going on with the school system? It's been fucked up for years.
Oh, yeah.
It's been fucked up since I've been there. It's probably been fucked up since I've been there. So,
even when we were in there, yeah, absolutely.
So it's like, come on. And that's just Dharma City. I mean, I'm sure the county has its problems too. I'm definitely sure. But public school systems is just in these areas. It's not great within these areas. Maybe outside in those other counties, they're a whole lot better. But especially the city's the worst. The city's the worst. But yeah, and there's plenty of black people in there. Hell, as far as the city is actually more black people. But still, the system's still fucked up. That has not ever worked. So, like, I agree. Like Killmonger. Well, now he doesn't say that. I think he just says along with like he doesn't want to change the system. He wants to just destroy it.
Yeah,
they burn it down. So I kind of agree with him on that. Like, yeah, because it's not working. It's not working. You being an inside ain't doing shit. And that's the truth. You can't show me no proof of it. So it's like there's aspects of the show I do like. I like, yes, but I don't like how they make him go to extreme, but I understand why. Because then look, at some point you try not make things too black and white, but at some point you gotta make it somewhat, you know? Yeah. It's still a hero. This isn't whatchamacallit. What's the movie called? Or the comic book, Watchmen. This isn't Watchmen. There's no fucking bunch of grays, you know? You can show a little gray, but it's still a hero, you know. It's just still about heroes and villains. You got to have your heroes and villains. So I know why they did it. It's just that they did it. For me, it's more, they did it to a character I connect with. That's the problem. That's really, it's a personal thing. Like, they did it with a character I connect with. So it's like, I like this villain. This villain says things I totally agree with. I just don't wish he doesn't go as extreme. But I don't exactly want him to die either by these other people. It's like, so when I saw like Pepper and Siri together, I was like, bullshit. No. I was like, nah, I don't want that. It's like, no. Like, she's going to stop us. Oh, man. Then what they're going to do? I mean, if it happens the way that you were wanting to happen, is that Siri and Pepper work it out and they get rid of Killmonger, and then they end up doing what they did. They end up doing what they did at the end of Black Panther when they go to the UN or whatever, talk about, we're going to share our technology with everybody. It's like, oh, the fuck, no. No. But yeah, it was okay, though. It's okay. I think, I like the individual performances, like in it. I like when Michael B. Jordan's cool. I like him as his character. It's pretty damn good. It was a cool twist. I mean, it was a cool twist, even though I was kind of hoping for more of a twist of like Killmonger not being what he was, like him not trying to get revenge in that
not
way.
Being that extreme, like actually
killing. Yeah, that's what I was kind of hoping. I was hoping he would change, like how Tony stayed what he was. So it was kind of a change of him just staying what he was before Iron Man. While Killmonger is like, he's somewhat different also. Like, he's not trying to kill, like get revenge and like say kill T'Challa and all of them. But he does want them to know what they're doing is wrong. This is some different way. This is a different way of doing it. But I mean, I get it. I get why they went this route. But it was okay. It was all right. That's how I feel about it. All right, you got anything else to say about this?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, so I guess we could get into what we've been playing. So I'll go ahead, because the 2 games you played, I played also.
Okay.
So I'll just leave those for last. All right, so I played this new game called Eastward, which is a new RPG published by Chucklefish and developed by some people I don't know. And I'll be looking to develop. It's by Pixpill. I don't know if they've done anything else before this game. But this game is, I think they're Japanese maybe, because I'm looking at their site and I cannot understand the language of the website. I don't know. It's an Asian language. I also say that I don't know if it's Japanese. It could be, maybe it's Korean. I don't know. But the game is almost like a modern day Zelda, like the old Zelda style type of games, the top down, games. Now I only played very little of this game, so I can't really give like a review if it's good or bad. I've just done I fought like one boss. This is at the beginning. Like, it seems like you're in a town, kind of like a slummy town, and you got this job of just mining. And then I guess something went wrong, like some slug monsters got loose and you're just beating them back. Also, I don't know if this is your daughter or maybe it's a girl you just taking care of, because she doesn't call you dad. She calls you by your name.
Okay.
But then again, I've seen where people, call their fathers' names for reasons. But seems like, yeah, you do take care of her. Like she had to wake you up to go work. Say, go hurry, go to work because you're late and then you might lose your job. I guess it seems like you're a loser. It feels like you're like, maybe you've been losing jobs and stuff like that. I don't know what the backstory is, but it seems so far what I played is interesting. It's something different. It looks nice, like the graphically, like it's kind of like that pixelated, but not better than 16-bit, but not like it looks better. Yeah, it looks better. Like it wouldn't be played on a Super Nintendo. It looks better than Super Nintendo, but it's not like quite like I would say PlayStation level or something like that. It's like if there was an in between those two.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, the reason I say it's placed as Zelda is because it is like it is action. It seems like it's an action RPG where you hit the A or X or whatever button I hit to swing your weapon. Also, it seems like you can equip weapons just like in Zelda, and there's also you get chests to open, and it kind of feels like that Zelda-ish kind of thing. So it kind of feels like almost like a modern day, or I don't know if this is like post-apocalyptic. I'm thinking maybe either it's apocalyptic or I'm just in a poor part of town. I have no idea. I have no idea yet. So it seems like a more modern Zelda, and there's no voice acting in this. So just like all the Zelda games too. But yeah, it seems cool. It seems like Chucklefish always do these type of games though. They all have the same type of view, normal top down, like kind of either pixelated or 16-bitish kind of look to it. Like all their games do, and they're not even developed by the same people. So that's what's funny. Is like
they have a type of game that they like to publish, Dominic.
Yeah, exactly. But I see some decent reviews for this game so far. I've seen 84% on Metacritic as of right now. 8 out of 10 on IGN, I see. But yeah, so it's a game I probably will get into. And I think I'm going to stop playing Dodgeball Academia. I play a little bit more. I mean, the game is fine. It's just that this game just seems more interesting than that. Like a game I seem like I want to play more so than Dodgeball. Dodgeball, like I said, is more like Pokemon, so it feels a little on the younger side.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably what it is. That it feels a little more on the younger side, and this feels a little more up my alley. Eastward feels more closer to something, not that's for adults, just maybe just a little older. It's not Pokemon, Right. It's not that. That's why I feel. But the Dodgeball game I do like, because I like the variety of type of dodgeball you do play as you play people. I'm trying to remember what's the newest one. I think I played against some robots, and they did something special. I forget. What did they do? I can't remember. But they did something. It's like, it doesn't feel the same. It's just not the same game all the time with dodgeball. So I do like that they do keep it interesting with it. I mean, kind of like, Golf Story wasn't like this. You just hitting the ball in the hole all.
Absolutely,
We're hitting the ball in the hole, but it's different.
Little mini games, and they had different, like Frisbee at one point, and they switch it up.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why I do like Dodgeball Academia. I mean, maybe one day I'll get back into it, or maybe I'll play it piecemeal. Like I'll just play like a little bit there, and then I come back to it. But just right now, I feel like I kind of want to lean towards playing Eastward. Like after I finish these two games I'm playing now, which is the Trails of Cold Steel, which I play some more of, and the what's the other game I'm playing? The Ace Attorney. Yes, Ace Attorney game. I think I'm on the last case. At least it feels like it, because everything's connected now. Like everything from the first game to this game, like this story is connected, which I like how they do that. I like how they put it all together. Just like they did, they do this in the other Ace games too. Like the trilogy. The first trilogy was like that. Like everything was connected from the first game to the last game. They're doing it here. And it gets really intense in some spaces. And there's some twists, man, that happens. That's pretty good. So I believe I'm on the last case there. What other game have I played? I played some more Injustice 2. I think my favorite character as of right now that I played is Starfire. I seem like I really can control her very well. So I really like playing with her. Mm-hmm. And she's sexy. And that's not a joke. That's not a joke. But no, she like I can really pull. It seems like I can pull her moves pretty good. I also played with Enchantress. I don't understand her that well. I gotta look up because I'm doing things to people, but I don't know what it means. Like I'm putting some spells on them, but I don't see nothing happening. Something is but something is happening. I just don't know what it is. I think I don't know if I'm supposed to do something else after I put the spell on them. But yeah, so I have to look up. I have to probably look on YouTube or something and see what the hell, how you play with Enchantress. Yeah, that was like the first time I really played with Enchantress. So yeah, I've been playing a little bit of that. I played a new game called Flynn, Son of Crimson, which is a platforming game. It's almost a Zelda-ish type of game too, but it's side-scrolling.
Mm-hmm.
So
gives me like Celeste vibes too from the trailer that I saw.
Okay, I can see that. I mean, at least that the parts I played so far, I haven't, but I think I know what you're talking about because the trailer I saw too, I did get those kind of vibes. I just haven't got to those stages yet.
Gotcha.
So, like, you have a wolf with you. Now, see, I'm still in the beginning. See, I haven't played much of this either. Like the glider games I played, I didn't really play a lot of because I was just testing them out to see if I want to keep playing them. So, I think the wolf does things. It probably does some things with you and during the game, but I just haven't got to that point yet. But the wolf had just lost his powers. Like, it's a story behind this. Like, the wolf is like a guardian, but then somebody came and took its powers. And I got this magic sword or something that I guess I'm the chosen one. I don't know. But so now I have to try to get the wolf's powers back. And I'm trying to remember what I played of it because it's so early. All right, yeah, it kind of is like a side-scrolling Zelda thing. It's because you do get items and things of that nature. Your health is like these diamonds. I know that. I guess it's like your hearts, basically. And yeah, once I get the sword, it seems like I got stronger. I guess it's equivalent to like a master sword. I mean, it's not exactly like Zelda. I mean, of course, but it's got those vibes. It looks like you probably equipped other things too. And you have these, you collect, like the stages aren't just simple, just side scrolling. Like you have to sometimes get keys or pull something to open the door and things of that nature. So it's just not a simple, like just action side scrolling 2D game. It's more to it. It's interesting though. Like it looks fun. It looks like something I like or something you will like. Really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks good.
It is on Game Pass. All right. So what else have I played? I also played Skatebird. Oh well, no. Oh yeah, that's what you played too. So I guess that's it, right? Yeah. So I guess we get into Skatebird, which you did mention you played. I remember now. Mm-hmm. You did mention you played.
Yeah, during the summer games demo or whatever they had.
Yeah. So I tried out Skatebird, and it does feel like a Tony Hawk kind of thing with me. Except for you're a bird, and it seems like you can do you can just fly up. I guess when you're doing ollies or something like that.
You got a little bit of flappy action, yeah.
Yeah. I just have a hard time, like, getting to places. I mean, I'm still getting used to the controls.
Yeah.
But I was getting used to controls with Tony Hawk too, so I can't say that. I mean, I would just assume Tony Hawk controls better, but thing is, I was having a hard time controlling that game too because I wasn't used to it. I didn't play enough of it to get used to it. But as I was playing more of the Skatebird, I was getting a little bit of a hang of it. And I mean, I do like the environments, like how it's like you are a little bird and you're in some guy's place or something like that. I don't know, is a dorm room. I don't know what it is. It looks like you see pizza boxes around and you know things of that nature.
Bowls under the bed or whatever. Yeah,
yeah, bowls under the bed. Yeah, it's got to be like a dorm room, that kind of thing. Putting food on a fucking bed. But anyway, yeah, and it's cool. Like you just treat it like a skate park and things of that nature. And like, I guess the quests, if you do, that's what I did. I did like the story mode. So you talk to these birds and they'll give you a quest like, hey, do a grind on these bowls or something like that, or collect these something, whatever I was collecting, or like, yeah, it was something on that nature. It was all right to me. I mean, I didn't dislike it. I mean, it seemed like it was okay. I don't know if I'll go back to playing it because I'm just not in. I'm just not in the mode to play a skate game. But what I played, I did enjoy a bit. I didn't hate it. But since you've been playing Tony Hawk and things of that nature, so how'd you like it?
I don't like this game. So I'm a little confused because I thought I was in the story mode too, and that was part of my problem. Is that I didn't see anybody else to interact with. I saw that there were tapes to pick up and clothing items to pick up, but I didn't see anybody to interact with, because I think that would have added to my enjoyment, would be if there was something that maybe tutorialized it a little more. Like, obviously the controls basically are the same as a Tony Hawk game, but that's kind of where I don't like it, because it shares those aspects of the Tony Hawk games, but it doesn't feel nearly as tight. It feels like I'm falling out of whatever move I'm doing constantly, like for no reason. Like I went up in the air, I did a kickflip, or I did a beat grab or something, and then all of a sudden, like before I even land, I'm just like, oh, 0 points, and I'm falling off the board. And then I was having a lot of trouble with the camera as well. Like at a certain point, it got extremely close to me, and I
do have trouble with the camera. I didn't,
and I couldn't adjust it in any way. It didn't seem like. I thought maybe at some point I pressed a button and it, changed the camera view on me, but I kept pressing all the things and I went into the menu, and it didn't seem like that fixed anything, because I don't remember it being as bad at the beginning of my run as it was near the end when I stopped playing it. With you saying that there are things to interact with in the environments, I'll maybe go back to it and check it out and maybe get.
Well, the first bird I noticed was you have to go up on a table.
Okay. Yeah, I'll have to see,
I don't know.
because
I don't think
obviously
it's on the
just
bottom.
Missed him completely. But,
yeah, that's because I was playing around. Because I didn't know it was a story mode either. I was like, what am I supposed to do?
Right.
And then I went up top. And then I saw a bird, and I got close to it, and it said press X to interact, and then you start talking to the bird.
Yeah, because that would make a lot more sense, because really I was just skating around, and I'm like, it says it's a story mode, but like I don't see anything to do. And then I finally paused it to like see if there was something that it gave me, an idea there, and it at least had.
That's the problem. I think it should
stuff.
have a map. It should at least have a map in there, where you can, and it should say like, "Hey, go here." Or something like that.
Yeah, like turn on objectives even. Like show me objective markers or something. Yeah. I mean, like the aesthetic of it, like you said, I like the little bird in this big world kind of thing. And I think all the birds look pretty cool. You got all sorts of dressy items to throw on them. I just randomized them, and I thought, like the second or third hipster looking bird that I got was like, oh, okay, he looks fine.
Yeah, pick a raven. You're supposed to pick a raven, Daniel.
Nah.
You're a raven.
Not going through that all that trouble, Dominic. Maybe if I go back into it, I'll be more selective about my bird choice. But yeah, like I remember first seeing this game being like, oh man, that looks awesome. And if it's just Tony Hawk with birds, absolutely. But it's Tony Hawk with birds, but not very good from what I've played. So I will give it another shot just to see if maybe I'm just missing something. But it feels very like indie prototype kind of thing to me. Like it feels like a, hey, one person made this game kind of game in that way. And I don't even know if only one person made this game. And I don't mean to shit talk the developers, but it's just not clicking with me. It's just one bird made the game, just tapping away with his beak. Yeah. So that's kind of where I am with Skatebird.
All right. So, you want to talk about I Am Fish?
Yeah. So while I was in the Xbox app downloading Skatebird, I saw that and I was like, "Oh, that looks cute. It looks kind of like Monkey Ball." From what the screenshots in the video in the Xbox app, it was like you're a fish in a bowl. You're going down through like these puzzle kind of things, trying to balance on platforms and whatnot. Getting around.
So did you download this or streamed it?
I downloaded this one.
Okay. Because
I find it's better for me to capture footage of it if I download it. Because sometimes when I'm streaming it, it will get a little wonky. So I try not to record that stuff as much.
I don't have a problem with mine when I record it.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, like even, and maybe I'll have to try it streaming because honestly, downloading it, there were definitely some times in I Am Fish where it was hitching up a little bit, like right at the beginning of the game. And I don't know, like I feel like that's a thing that happens to me a lot in games, and I don't know if it's just my hardware or I need to do a clean install of Windows and start over again. There's maybe too many driver conflicts or something.
Get Windows 11, yeah.
What's that?
Gotta get Windows 11.
You gotta get Windows 11. I don't think my hardware supports that because I don't have like the TPMS chip or whatever security thing. It's weird. I think Microsoft's gonna run into some issues trying to get like proper adaptation levels for Windows 11 if they don't relax their security stuff or do something.
Just get everybody a new computer.
Well, that's the problem. Like based on what I've read is like 60 to 80% of hardware on shelves right now doesn't support some of that stuff that is required by Windows 11. And maybe I'm exaggerating on that level, but even if it's like 30 to 40%, it's like if I just bought new hardware, you know, it's kind of fucked up that I can't run Windows 11. And I understand that they're trying to like lock it down more for security purposes so you can't get viruses as bad or whatever, but honestly, that's not really a thing that I've had too much trouble with, especially in the modern era where you don't have things like Kazaa and whatnot, and you also have Windows built-in security stuff. You know, the Windows built-in virus scanner is decent, you know, compared to back in the day when you had to have like Kaspersky or whatchamacallit. So anyway, yeah, as far as this game goes, though, I expected it to be a little more Monkey Ball like, and maybe it's just been a while since I've played Monkey Ball, but it's I don't know. I like that the environments are more just like worlds instead of like these floating puzzle stages in the ether. I like that you start out in the attic of somebody's house and then I think maybe that's the second level.
Like a pet store, right?
Yeah, because then you escape into the ocean, and then in the second level, some kid picks you up and it's like, "Oh, I'm going to take you back to the attic."
I didn't play the second level. I just played the first.
Gotcha. I played 3 or 4 levels. I think 3. But that's kind of where it starts to get to the point where I don't like it, because in the third level, you get into a different shaped jar. So you're like in a long, tall jar. So you can't roll 360. You can only roll on the one side of the jar. So you're like having to turn the jar, which isn't exactly intuitive. And then it gets really messy in a way that it doesn't really become all that fun. And also a lot of the stuff becomes kind of random. Like in the second level, I think it's the second level, you kind of bounce off this roof, off a canopy, and then down into the street. And then there are cars going both ways, and the cars can hit you and break your bowl, and you'll, flop out and die, which this game is kind of morbid because you're just like constantly, or at least me being bad at the game, you're like constantly breaking your bowl and then dying.
Yeah, and it doesn't kill you out of it. It makes you be able to flop.
It really makes you suffer there. Yeah, but like it just seemed like, are the cars coming at the right time for me to drop down? Because you don't have, like, once you get your momentum going in that circular bowl, it's really hard to make you stop and like change direction quickly. And for obvious reasons, it's a physics-based puzzle game that makes sense. But at the same time, you got to balance like reality physics with what is fun for the game to actually do. Aesthetically, it's cute. It reminds me of like a Nemo or something like that. It seems like at some point in the game, you'll maybe meet back up with your fishy friends that you see, and they maybe have different powers or something. There's like a puffer fish or whatever. Or maybe it's purely aesthetic and you can just run around with a fucking Sega Saturn in your bowl. I don't know. Overall, I think it's okay so far, but it's definitely not something that I'm like dying to get back into. So that's where I am with it. What did you think with your experience with that?
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, it was something different, something fun. Like I can see, like, oh, it was the puzzle aspect of it. Like they ain't doing a puzzle and like maybe a stage. I play a stage and then put it down. But yeah, it's not something I would just keep playing. I just want to try it out.
Yeah,
because I ain't know nothing about this game.
I'd definitely like to see you at least get to that third stage and see how you feel about that different jar. Because for me, it was just like, this is maybe where this game gets unplayable.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll try that out. But yeah, I mean, I do like the world though. That's what I see. I like the whole idea, like you're on the rooftops and you're kind of rolling on the phone cords or the electric wires or something like that, whatever.
Yeah, it has a very like pinball-y feel to it because especially some of the things they'll like send you downhill real quick and then they'll have like little stoppers, but then you'll go onto those like phone lines and it feels very much like when you hit onto the rail of a pinball thing and it just kind of
around. Exactly, yeah. And like you fall on those yoga mats.
Yeah.
And I'm guessing this got to be like San Francisco or something. So yeah, everybody got a yoga mat.
Yep.
Got a yoga mat on their roofs of these homes and stuff like that. All right, so I guess that's it then. I guess we'll take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to the flashback segment.
All right.
Right back.
Okay.
And we're back. Now we're flashbacking to 10 years. This week in September, we got Bit Trip Saga on the 3DS, which is basically, looks like Bit Trip Runner.
Probably has multiple
compilation of
games,
stuff.
I'm guessing. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it says it includes
6 downloadable video games on the WiiWare.
Big Trip Beat, Big Trip Core, Big Trip Void, Big Trip Runner, Big Trip Fate, and Big Trip Flux.
Only one I'm really ever familiar with is Big Trip Runner.
That's the only one I know too, only because of you.
Yeah.
I know nothing about this guy. I didn't know that guy. That's what the guy looked like. All right. So what else we got here? We got Call of Juarez. The Cartel came on for the Windows. So yeah, the computer people can finally play it. PC people.
And that's one of the ones that people like, right?
Cartel one? I thought it was the one before that one.
Is it?
The Cartel one isn't that the Cartel one is modernized one, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so I guess you're probably right. Yeah, 51, 45, 47 on Metacritic. Yeah, it's the previous one.
All right, and we got God of War Origins Collection, which I believe is the PSP games on the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
Also, we have Harvest Moon, The Tale of Two Towns. Oh, so is it just like The Tale of Two Cities, the book, which I did not read? I was supposed to read for my summer reading in high school. I thought it was like the
City Mouse,
what was
Country
that Mickey
Mouse?
Mouse show? The Pauper.
Oh, the Prince and the Pauper. Yep.
The Pauper. I thought it was like the Prince and the Pauper. I was like, oh, it's not like that. That's what I thought. I thought it was like it's the rich town and the poor town. I mean, I don't know what Tale of Two Cities is about, honestly.
I don't know nothing about it. Today I learned that it's not that.
Wait a minute. It might be that. I don't know. Maybe I was right.
They go back to our Charles Dickens history.
The rich town? Set in London and Paris. So yes, it is a rich. Paris is a rich town. London is a poor town. Nah, it's during the French Revolution. Yeah,
I'm this is listen not, to this on Book One Tape, Dominic.
Yeah, this is definitely not what I thought. So me watching that freaking Mickey Mouse version of the Prince and the Pauper did not help me.
No wonder my book report got a D.
All right. So what else we got here? We got Hard Reset on the Windows. I'm guessing it's about like resetting your computer.
I feel like I remember that game.
I feel like I heard it before.
It was made by Flying Wild Hogs, which I'm pretty sure are the people that make the new Shadow Warrior. Yeah, they make the new Shadow Warrior.
Yeah, it's a first-person shooter for Windows.
Yeah,
Okay.
I feel like this was relatively well received. It looks like Metacritic that got 73 on the PC, 69 on the PS4. Nice.
Only Edge gave it a horrible score. I guess they didn't get the monies. They didn't get the monies from them. And PC Gamer UK at 58%. But yeah, so I guess what is it? Story based one?
Let's see. Game features a cyberpunk plot within a dystopian world and draws inspirations from the works of William Gibson, Neil Stephenson, and Philip K. Dick to create a story, setting, and atmosphere. In 2012, Hard Reset received a free expansion titled Hard Reset Exile, and then was bundled as Hard Reset Extended Edition. In 2016, a remastered edition called Hard Reset Redux was released with updated graphics and new weapons and enemies.
Okay. I'm trying to look at this trailer here of it. I mean, it looks alright. I mean, it definitely looks like a cyberpunkish kind of thing.
I was going to say, you can say, Dominic, it looks generic. Generic cyberpunk.
I wouldn't say call it generic.
No? Okay.
Like, based on the weapons I see, look pretty cool.
That's good. Like I remember us talking about when the Redux came out.
Really? That was 2012, right? When did Redux come out?
2016.
Oh.
It would have been right around the time we started, right?
Oh, no, that's after. We started like 2014.
God. Been doing this forever, Dominic.
All right, so what else we got? We got NHL 12 for the PS3 and Xbox 360. Who was on the front of that, Dan? You know your hockey.
Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, Wayne Gretzky, yep.
Steven
there is a guy.
Stamkos. Stamkos.
What team is that he's on?
Lightning. Tampa Bay Lightning.
Tampa Bay. Oh, yeah, that's your people's town.
Yep.
Who won the NHL Cup? Wait a minute. They won during COVID. Who won last year?
Oh, no.
Who won this past one? Yeah, I didn't never mention it, I don't think. I'm going to say it was a Canadian team. It was a Canadian team that won, actually, this time. Was it Winnipeg?
Montreal Canadiens?
Oh, it was a Canadian team.
Wait. Tampa Bay Lightning?
They won 2 years in a row?
This is the 2021 Stanley Cup Finals. Series was between the Canadiens and defending champions, Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning won the best of 7. So, yeah.
Yeah, they won 2 years in a row. Darn. Good God. That big kid. Now the baseball team got to win. Because the football team won, the hockey team won, the baseball team got to win, then the basketball team. You heard me. Yeah, that's not. It's like no basketball team, but yeah. Then there'll be all the teams. I'm trying to think if there's any other professional teams in Tampa Bay. I don't think so.
Their volleyball team and their luge team.
Right, but do they have a soccer team? They have a. Probably do.
Maybe. What's the American League called?
I forgot what it was called. USFL. I don't know.
I should have known better than to type in American football, Dominic.
Yeah, you just gotta get American football. Unless you spelled it F-U-T?
I did not. Let's say Tampa. American Soccer Tampa. The Tampa Rowdies, Dominic. The Rowdies. They're part of the USL. I don't know what that is.
Maybe they have a Nicktoons MLB team. Because Nicktoons MLB came out.
Ooh.
For the Xbox 360, Wii, and Nintendo DS.
That was before EA just ate up that license, and now we can't have anything. Or EA?
Oh, not EA. Nobody
2K.
ate up the license.
Nobody's making
2K,
those games?
well,
It's just the show now, isn't it, I guess?
It's just a show, yeah.
Oh my
2K,
God.
they already had a license. Actually, who made this game?
Nickelodeon. High voltage software.
2K made this game.
And published by 2K. Look at that
we
Invader
got here?
Zim just fucking playing outfield or something.
So basically, this is just like what Mario's Base Slam. What's it called?
He's
Slamma Jamma?
what is it called? Grand Slam? I don't know now. Can't remember. Superstar Sluggers or something, right?
Okay, yeah,
Baseball.
something like that. Yeah, some Sluggers, I think. Yeah.
Yeah. Superstar Baseball and then Super Sluggers, I feel like they called it at some point. Yeah. Mario Superstar Baseball and Mario Super Sluggers.
That's the one that came out on the Wii.
Yeah, the Super Sluggers one. And then there was the Mario Sports Superstars that came out on the 3DS that had all sorts of games.
All right. So moving on, we got Puka Power Up. I don't know what this is.
I don't think you can say that, Dominic. I'm going to guess it's the sequel to... I can't make the joke because I can't remember the name of the cartoon now. The Nickelodeon one with the surfing kids.
They look like there's some Asian kids with some big heads. They're like toys.
I was going to say, they look like those traditional dolls that you see some places. It looks like it's just like a 2D platforming game.
This is an adventurous love story.
Oh. You are collecting hearts.
Mismatch between the daughter of a noodle seller and a ninja challenges players to help Puka and Goro on their quest for true love.
Oh, man. Get all four of those arms wrapped around this person you love, Dominic.
Yeah. Anyway, what's the next one? Red Orchestra 2, Heroes of Stalingrad. Hey, that's definitely...
Those are the
like
RTS games, right?
Yeah, definitely Soviet Union shit. What else we got here? Shingoku, Way of the Warrior.
Does that sound familiar?
It looks like a samurai on front.
Paradox.
It's a strategy game.
Oh, okay. That's why it might sound familiar, but I know nothing about it.
Yeah. The Gunstringer on the Xbox 360, that's the Kinect game.
Yeah, that thing's cool. I had a lot of fun with that game.
Yeah, they did bring a sequel to this. I mean, obviously not going to be Kinect.
VR,
and come back.
Yeah,
so we got Thor, God of Thunder for the 3DS came out.
It's got to be the movie game.
Yeah, it's a movie game.
And
we also have White Knight Chronicles 2 for the PS3.
I remember that when the first one was like a huge game for the PS3.
Yeah.
It was like, oh my God, they got an exclusive RPG, and then nobody...
It's only got 60. Yeah, it only got 60 on this one. Metacritic. Edge did not like this either. They did not get the money for this game. Gave the same score as the other game I was
just hard-nosed reporters over at Edge, man. Their job seriously.
I don't think I'm going to mention this one because I don't know what the hell it is, so fuck it. I don't know if I want to mention this one either.
Come on, Renegade Ops was that one where you were like top down in the Jeep, I think. It was a pretty popular Xbox Live Arcade game.
They showed me those screenshots on Wikipedia. It ain't that popular.
Clearly. Yeah. I remember that being kind of fun. I played the demo of it. But, yeah, it wasn't huge.
Yeah, Trackmania 2 Canyon on the Windows.
Oh, okay.
Guessing you're in the Grand Canyon around here?
I don't think I've ever played a Trackmania game, but I am familiar with them. There's a lot of crazy shit going on.
I'm not going to mention this because it's iOS. Well, I'll just say it because I like the title. Monsters Ate My Condo.
Say, tell me more about Monsters Ate My Condo.
Also, we got Dragon Quest Monsters Joker 2, which is basically like a Pokemon Dragon Quest. And then we have Kirby Mass Attack. And this is when Kirby has a bad heart attack. And
oh, no.
Get in the hospital.
Poor Kirby. This is the one I think we talked about on one of the covers at the beginning of the month. Is. Where it was
the like... Toy loved this game. They gave it a 9.5.
There you go.
One Up. They got an 83 on Metacritic overall. One Up gave it an A-. One Up was still around back then. Okay. Oh, 2011? Yeah, they were around. Despite its final years now. IGN gave it an 8.5. Yeah, quite a good few good scores.
And a Eurogamer.
And that is it. Excuse me. For 2011. Now we're going to 2001, 20 years. And now we got here Heavy Metal Geomatrix came out for the Dreamcast. Oh, so we still got another big game, Daniel, coming out for the Dreamcast.
Oh, yeah.
It's not dead yet. this huge game, which is, I don't know what it's about.
It's probably some heavy metal and some geometry.
4-player combat in large arenas. I guess you're in cars, maybe. It doesn't say. I'm just reading this off of goddamn. No, I don't know. Maybe it's like Power Stone. Yeah, it says a follow-up to the basics of Capcom's Power Stone series.
Oh, huh.
Although more oriented to weapon and fighting / shooting and a serious and dark cyberpunk tone because of the heavy metal universe setting. Is it like Heavy Metal, the one with the nude cartoon? They show the lady with the big boobs?
You know, that logo does look like that, so I wouldn't be surprised, honestly. It's also got Megadeth on the soundtrack, so it probably is like licensed from Heavy Metal.
It got a 58 on Metacritic, though. Edge, not like this one either. Gave it a 5 out of 10. Game Informer gave it a 3 out of 10.
Woo. Thanks.
All right. You also got Ooga Booga for the Dreamcast, man.
Oh,
man
just big release week.
Some heavy hitters.
Yeah.
There's some heavy hitters still on this dying console. All right, so you got, it's online multiplayer too.
Huh.
And it looks like you play as the mask from Crash Bandicoot. And it's a green mask. Looks like he's riding a Roadhog.
Yep.
Actually, no, it doesn't look like he's riding it. Because he's not actually on it, but he's behind it. He's fucking a Roadhog.
Oh no.
He is fucking a Warthog in this picture.
Took a turn. Can't put that on the cover of games.
What kind of game is that? I guess I'm going to say it's a platformer or so. I have no idea. But he's in the screenshot. He's riding a Warthog. I don't know if he's riding him all the time. It says the storyline is Ooga Booga is a volcano goddess. Oh, it's a woman.
See, that creates islands by appearance, Dominic.
And has leaders of tribes, the Kahunas, that battle for. Oh no, maybe you play as the Kahuna.
I was going to say maybe he's probably one of those guys then.
Yeah. It has a distinct Polynesian style and tone. It has many multiplayer islands and characters which can be unlocked. It was one of the last online games for the Dreamcast. There are 4 basic Kahunas that the player can use: Hottie, Fatty, Twitchy, and Hoodoo. There are unlockable Kahunas based on the main 4. Some of them include Death, a floating skeleton, Abe, former U.S. President Abraham Lincoln, Super Guy, a superhero, and Joseph, a caveman who says Ooga Booga, and Dwarf, a dwarf.
Okay.
There you go.
Wow.
This is one of the great games on the Dreamcast. It got an 81 on Metacritic.
Wow. It's because there's one review that gave it an 81.
I don't see Edge up here. Edge did not even review it. Come on, Edge. I didn't know your reviews. IGN gave it a 9.4. They gave them all the monies.
Whoa.
Because everybody else I see is like around 7s and 6. That's what brought it up, Daniel. Today, the 81, because IGN and probably Next Generation and X-Play. X-Play TV show gave it a 4-star out of 5. They paid Adam Sessler. And what's the other girl name on X-Play?
Morgan Webb.
Yeah, they played Morgan Webb and Alex Sessler to give them that high score. All right. So what we got here? We got Power Rangers Time Force on the Game Boy Advance. This is the Power Rangers series that I guess deals going back in time. I'm just going by the title because I've never seen the series before.
Seems right.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. Actually, I clicked on it, but I think I'm not getting the video game. Okay, now I'm getting the video. There it is. I don't see where's the reception. I don't see a reception for it. I don't know. I'm just going to say it's a great game and you should play it. All right. So what else we got? We got Klonoa, Empire of Dreams. This is the Game Boy Advance version. You played this one, right?
That one I did play, and I had a lot of fun with it. I always was envious of the 3D ones. I've talked about that in the past, and yeah, this is the one I finally got to play. It's a nice, solid little side-scrolling game. I liked it a lot.
Okay, then what is he supposed to be?
I don't know. Is he like a rabbit, or I honestly don't know what he's supposed to be. A cat, maybe?
Maybe he's not a real animal, like a traditional animal. Is he supposed to be a traditional animal?
Let's see. Klonoa. What does the wiki say? Has features of a dog, cat, and rabbit, but is not explicitly any particular animal.
The freak.
He's described within the games and manga as a dream traveler. So yes, he's a nightmare animal.
Okay. And here we go. We got Arctic Thunder, which is the Midway snowmobile racing game.
You know what, Dominic? We need more snowmobile games. I feel like there's a distinct lack of
I just remember these are the days where you had a lot of these type of games, man. Like those especially those Midway ones, like those stream kind of sports racing games. Things I never see that I don't even ever see in my life that I don't even know. They are probably a thing, and I just probably on a channel I never knew existed. All right, so what else we got here? We got Capcom versus SNK. Mark of the Millennium came out for the Dreamcast and PlayStation 2 in Japan 20 years ago. So this is in time for the Millennium. 1 year after. I mean, but no, actually, it probably was in an arcade, so maybe it just finally got the consoles.
Yeah.
We got Madden NFL 2002 on the N64.
Oh boy,
the blurriest of all Maddens, and we have also MX 2002 featuring Ricky Carmichael on the Game Boy Advance.
Oh man, Ricky Carmichael. I remember him being a guy that rode bikes.
You never? I was asking, did you ever play this one?
Oh, I don't think I did. Maybe, but I mean, at that time, I think I've talked about it in the past. But like, I played basically everything because there was Game Boy emulators that emulated games that were out currently. So there's a good chance I might have. But
did you like the Tony Hawk on Game Boy Advance?
The Game Boy Advance one was great. Yeah, that one was very good. Had like the isometric view. Yeah. I actually, did I own that, or I think I might have rented that or something when it first came out.
I remember you got it for like the 3DS or the DS. One of them you had it. DS, I think.
Yeah, I had like American Wasteland, I think, for the DS or the 3DS.
All right. So, no, it was a DS because it was at Target. I know we didn't have a 3DS. Yeah. So, what else we got? We got Red Faction came out finally on the Windows. This is the first Red Faction. So, yeah, this is when, like, games didn't come on PC first or at the same time. It would have to come later, sometimes, some of these games. And, I mean, I think graphically it definitely was better than the PlayStation version. But I guess rated compared to other first-person shooters on the PC, it wasn't as good, but it was all right. It was all right when I saw the reviews. Also, Planet of the Apes came out for the Windows in the US. I don't know if this is based off the movie.
I was gonna say, was that around the time of the Tim Burton one?
Yeah. Yeah, it was 2001 that movie came out.
Oh boy,
2001 game.
It's a modern classic now, Dominic.
See what the game looks like. Hideous.
I don't know why I would have expected anything less.
I mean, I'm looking at an updated graphics version of it, but I can imagine it looked pretty bad when it first came out. Look at that monkey talking. What's it saying? the voice does not match with the face. It does not match with the. Like she talking all clear. Like you're supposed to say ooh ah ah ah. They talking like humans. That's how you talk about. But still, she talking like all like normal. Like
That's because they could just do voiceovers, and instead of the movie where they had all the makeup packed on their face, they couldn't fucking talk like normal people.
Is that Dr. Zayas? Is that Dr. Zayas talking?
Dr. Zayas.
Actually, I think this game, I don't know if it's based off the movie. Because I don't remember this monkey. He looks more like the old monkeys. Well, the apes. I'm sorry, apes.
Oh, man. Is it based on the original Planet of the Apes?
I think it is. Yeah, because the guy you play as, too, you don't look like Mark Wahlberg. No, was it Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, it was Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, it's Mark Wahlberg, right? Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think it's Seymour. Like, and I wonder why does YouTube say this is Far Cry? Like this is right here. All right. So yes, that is it for the flashback segment. So we're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we'll get to the gaming news.
All right.
And we're back. And now we're getting to the gaming news. So what we got, Dan?
All right, Dominic, we got a couple things this week. First up, Mega Man's doggy partner, Rush, is coming to Monster Hunter Rise on September 24th as one of your companion skins.
Oh, okay.
So if you are into both of those games, or just like the way your robot doggy looks, you can check him out in Monster Hunter. So that's
he looks
fun.
so out of place.
He really does.
Because he's like the cartoon anime kind of look, and they're like kind of somewhat realistic.
Also, I know he's kind of big next to Mega Man, especially like in the old games where like sprites are all just the same height. But he looks ginormous in Monster Hunter. Because he's basically like, he's basically like the size of those wolves that you ride on. So he's just like,
oh yeah, okay. So for some reason I kept thinking it was like a normal dog.
Yeah, I think that's what I was thinking originally. It was like one of those cat things that follows you around. But yeah, it's like Beowulf, not Beowulf.
Does he fly?
Whatever. It didn't look like it, but you can like jump off of his back like you do in the game, and also like a Yoshi, let him fall into a cliff and fly off into wherever you need to go. So yeah, so that's cool. Some other news this week, Dominic. We got Dying Light 2, which was originally scheduled to release December 7th of this year, which I don't think any of us ever believed, is now delayed until February 4th of 2022.
Hey, I kind of thought it would probably release this
exactly, because I know they've been out there talking about it a lot more recently, but because it hasn't been bigger news, because I think they've been just rolling it out little by little instead of dumping it on everybody, I think it's just not drawing the attention. So I didn't even think about it releasing as soon as this year, you know? It would have been surprising to me if it had. So yeah, but they're definitely out there talking about it right now. It's good to see that, considering where we were, at the beginning of this year, where they said it was basically delayed inevitably.
Yeah.
And then, turned it around pretty quickly. So that's cool. I'm glad to see that they're getting out there, and it's not another Dead Island,
Yeah, they're going to beat Dead Island.
They really are. It's insane. Dead Island's now going to come out on December 7th. They're just going to come out tomorrow and be like, yo, we're done. Game's gold. Here you go.
He kept it a secret all this time without showing any screenshots or anything.
Exactly. All right, Dominic, some more news. Little Big Planet. I don't remember if we ever ended up actually talking about this or not. But
no, we did.
There was a time back in March that the Little Big Planet servers were having issues. Apparently there was a lot of DDoS attacks, some harassment and hate speech stuff going on in that game. So basically Sony was like, we can't get these under control while it's up. We're going to take these servers down. And I know at the time a lot of people were concerned that was maybe kind of it for Little Big Planet because they wouldn't bring the servers back. And that's sort of the story. They're not bringing the servers back for the majority of those games, but they are bringing back the Little Big Planet 3 server on the PS4, which is the most recent Little Big Planet game. And the nice thing about that is you can play all the historic content created from one on, in that version of the game. So there is, at least you're not losing out on that whole history of content, because that would have been sad. I mean, there's some pretty incredible things that have been made in Little Big Planet. It was one of those games that I wished was better, but like it was just so floaty for a platformer. It just didn't work the way I had wanted, but there was still some incredible content.
Like I wish there was a update to that game. Like there was a PS4 version where like the loads were better, load times at least better. Like, okay, it's one thing I can get past the floatiness if I could just download and play a game quickly, like somebody's game, like how Mario Maker is.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's unfortunate that they're not bringing those back, but I'm glad they were able to get some of that stuff under control, because that's been a big deal recently. Like we haven't talked about it, but like on Twitch, there are people doing like hate raids and stuff like that, where basically you're overwhelming, smaller streamers' channels, with hate speech and stuff like that. And it's like, it's just, why? What is wrong with people that they find enjoyment in just, breaking somebody's
younger
shit?
people, I know why. Because it's like how people make fun of people at school. I mean, it's cool to see happen to another person that's not you. Like, just making fun of people. It's just, I mean, I can't explain. I mean, I can explain. I just can't think of the words. But it's just like, it just feels good. Like, like we're just.
It also gets into like mob mentality, right? Like it's you against, it's everybody against that one fucking nerd or whatever, I guess, right?
Yeah, exactly. And you're like, we're going to get on these people and it's going to have some fun and then it's going to move on to somebody else. Yeah. Yeah, it's just that. Now, if you're a person of a certain age, then it gets to be I can't explain it. Something's wrong with you.
Yeah.
Because I'm like,
those people from school never grew up and matured in any way, and now live on the internet behind anonymity and can just do whatever they want, I guess. Yeah, that's some real fucked up shit.
Yeah, because I just think of some of the people, like, not even just like mob mentality stuff, just typing certain things, like just saying the thing, like typing the things you see on on any social media platform. I just said, like, Darren, you took the time just to type this. Why? Because, like, even if, like, just like this, like, you see the attractive woman, and you're like, man, she is hot. Like, even if I think she's hot, I wouldn't even, me personally, not say it's wrong now, you just say, like, hey, you look pretty good. It's not that bad. But for me personally, I don't even care to even do that. Like, I don't even feel like I even feel like I need to just tell this person that, hey, you look hot.
So you're not the guy making comments on porn sites?
No. And then they take it further than just that. They be like, man, I gotta do this to your body or something like that. And it's like, good God. I said, like, you just feel the need to do that. And I know, but now when you're to the point, it's like, hey, that's the internet. It's still fucked up. And like, I know that's what people are gonna do, but then it's like, they're fucking weirdos. Like, why the fuck?
And it stems from somewhere that exists in the real world. Like, just because it's on the internet currently doesn't mean, those thoughts and feelings can't manifest themselves in the real world either.
Yeah, exactly. Like, why did you feel the need? Like, what gave you the need to do this? Like, to have to type this for this person to know this? Like, what was it?
Just showing my appreciation.
And then when people complain, they say it's a compliment.
Exactly.
It's a compliment that I said I wanted to come on your tits. It's a compliment.
Boy. Yeah.
It's
to this random woman that you don't know and is not.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Dominic. Some other news, we got a new game released, a new remake released, I should say. Destroy All Humans 2 Reprobed Edition is going to be releasing sometime in 2022. So I guess the Destroy All Humans 1 remaster was good enough for them, sold well enough for them that they
that's cool.
Decided to make
I'm glad. I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Because maybe it might lead to actual original new Destroy All Humans.
Yeah, a new one
game
with updated, more modern gameplay. That would be nice. Yeah. And then we do actually have a new game released. Dominic, you were telling me about this one, Wuchang Fallen Feathers. This looks a lot like a Souls-like or Sekiro-style game where you're playing as a female protagonist and is releasing in 2024. I didn't see that date. That's a far-off release date.
Good God. That is a far-off release date. Jesus.
Maybe I read it wrong and they were saying that it's set in the in the date of 2024. Because 2023, when they announced Spider-Man, didn't seem that far off because it's like, we're almost in 2022, so I guess. But like announcing a game for 2024, man.
Yeah, you at this point, like when you get that far, you might as well just say freaking 2030 or something like that. I mean, good God.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's scheduled to release sometime in 2024.
Okay, I mean, then I'll just remind me when it happens.
Play it with some trainers and go on about your business.
Yeah.
It's funny because I'm looking at this PSU.com article and it says the game is not due out until 2024, so it's still a little ways off yet. And while platforms have not yet been confirmed, we're probably looking at a PS5 release. PS5 release, we might be looking at a PS6 release. That's obviously over exaggerating, but still, like 2024 that's a ways off. That's crazy.
Yeah, it definitely is. Yeah, I ain't gonna hold my breath. We'll forget about it, but it'll be reminded when we get close to it.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll see plenty more. Right now, there's like an 18-minute trailer out there. So I'm surprised how much footage there is for a game that's not coming out for 3 years.
Yeah, it definitely looks like Sekiro.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of it. So, like, people who did like that game, I guess it's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
All right, you got any other news?
You mentioned to me about the Wolverine stuff, and now it seems like it's pretty much confirmed that it's a mature game. So that's exciting news. We definitely makes sense for that character. We don't need just like blunt knives coming out of this dude's hand, knocking people over.
Or just fighting robots.
Yeah,
like you said,
or just fighting robots. Man, Dominic, look at all that oil spilling out of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like what they do for Star Wars, and like all the droids, that's why they have the droids, they can just slash them all. And with the stormtroopers, they just slice, but it's nothing, Yeah. Slice them and they being had, but it's really, you don't see guts or anything.
Yeah.
They get away with that.
They sure do.
I'm just saying, and how did they do that in the game you liked?
In the Fallen Order one? Or the Force Unleashed?
Yeah.
The Force Unleashed, I don't know.
Did they slice them in half? I don't know if they sliced them in half, do they?
I was going to say, I don't think in the Force Unleashed they did. I think it was more like a baseball bat, and you were just basically like batting them away and stuff.
See, that's how they did it. Yeah. I mean, but
now,
Star Wars,
like,
you
Jedi Academy
it,
and stuff, you could turn, I don't know if it was on by default, but you could turn on in like the console codes, dismemberment and stuff, which was cool back in the day.
Oh, okay. But see, Star Wars, that's the property. Like the Star Wars property is never mature.
Yeah.
Really. So, yeah, it's kind of, you kind of go with it. You kind of just go with it. Like, yeah, I'm not going to see a bunch of guts coming out. Like, you're going to see, the guts you're going to see is like alien guts. Like, if it's like a big monster alien. That's the most you're going to see. All right, then. So I guess, you know what? We're going to have, I talked about this weeks ago. that I wanted to discuss Ashley, the character from Mass Effect, because it's a stigma about her that she's racist. Like, this has been a known thing. If you've been following Mass Effect since it came out, a lot of people have said that, hey, Ashley is racist. She's space racist because she feels this way about aliens. And I've always been a proponent of, like, she's not racist. I never agree with it. Like, first, I was not really on forums when Mass Effect first came out, so I never knew that was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I went to this game not even thinking about her being racist. I didn't really know. What people I thought were what you would call racist was basically everybody, because everybody was for themselves. Like, people were against humans, seemed like.
Yeah.
Like, it felt like the universe was like the other races were against humans, but for reasons that I understand too, from their point of view.
They were fledgling in the community and nobody trusted them. And I think to your point, like, everybody in the universe was kind of out for themselves, right? Like, and that's, you know, why Ashley's stance is the way it is, you know, especially with her past is with her grandfather and whatnot. So,
so I would I wouldn't really call it a debate, but it's just talk about like perspectives on this. Okay, so the first time I really heard people talk about Ashley being racist was on podcasts.
Mm-hmm.
Like when podcasts were, this is when the height of the video game podcast, like, was just really coming new. And like, this is when like sites
One Up Show and stuff like that.
Yeah, One Up had one. Giant Bomb was just starting. Then you had like almost a lot of the big sites had it, but not everybody, because Game Informer didn't have one yet. Some sites didn't have it yet, but there were a few out there, but they were all known because it wasn't a lot of them, but there were good ones. There were like some good ones though, because it was people were really working well on them. They're not like ours, which is shitty. So I just joke. I didn't offend you, did I?
Yes, very much so. I can't believe you would call everyone else's podcast besides ours shitty.
Yeah, I'm sorry. All right. So anyway, yeah, I one time I think I forgot where, but I know I was probably at Target and I heard someone talk about how like I don't like Ashley and say, yeah, because she's just racist. She just hates aliens, and I was like, what?
That was literally me, Dominic. That was literally me saying that.
I said she's racist, and I was thinking like, well, that's the wrong term to use.
Hey, it's space racist.
Yeah, because it's, I don't know if it's even racist, because it's the speciesist.
Speciesist, yes.
We have, because technically racist basically for humans anyway, we made up the term race. Like, that's just a man-made term that we just made up for different types of people. Well, see, I don't know how aliens do. I don't know if they have races within their communities. Now, I heard about Tyrians having different tribes, but I don't know how far it goes into, like, do they hate certain tribes? Like, certain tribes hate each other? Maybe so, but you know, that's not the story. That's not the story, so you're not really going to know that. So, but basically, yes, speciesist, but we want to say racist just because for everybody know what we were talking about.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of the way it's developed, especially nowadays. Like, I feel like calling Ashley a space racist is a meme, basically, at this point. It's, you know, because it's like I was telling you, going into this, like I was looking into this stuff to just find examples, because obviously, like, if we're talking back and forth about this, you played these games far more recently than I have, and would be far more, you know, versed in the subject than anything I could say to you about it, you know. But there's really not that much out there outside of people saying, oh yeah, she's space racist, and then, you know, moving on, and then there's like arguments from the other side about why she's not, and then other people just say, oh yeah, she's space racist.
Yeah, I think that's the problem with me, is that I never get good examples. I think I was looking for good examples or reasons why, and for me, I just came to terms with is that, because it's mostly white people out here talk about this, and it's something me and my friends always talk about too. Sometimes we're always talk. It's like, I don't think a lot of white people know what racism is. Like, even the ones who think they're allies to you, they be saying things are racist that I wouldn't even think are racist. Now, I'm not saying maybe I'm wrong. Not on this. I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong on this. But maybe I'm wrong in some other aspect. Maybe something was racist. I just didn't notice it. I mean, it could be that could be a thing because maybe I'm just so I never could conceive that point of view that I never thought something was racist. But
see, we're working with inside knowledge, though, Dominic. We know it's racist because we came up with the idea of it being racist.
Well, you normalized it too, but you normalize it to a point where you don't realize it, but whatever. But anyway, or we don't even realize it, or anybody does. But anyway, it's just that I think people look at certain things that people say as racist when it's not. It's just, it's a term like with Ashley, for example. Like she's saying, like some of the things people bring up is her talking about the ship. Like, how do you feel comfortable? She don't feel comfortable aliens being on the ship because it's a new type of ship, very high tech, like probably the most technically advanced ship of all this alien races.
Yeah,
races, and that. Why would you bring something like aliens to our top secret ship? Like we don't know. They can steal it. Like we don't know these groups. Now people may look at this like if you knew nothing about Mass Effect history and you're just thinking like Star Trek, then you'll think like, hey, what's your problem? I mean, I think it's okay. You're trying to be you're trying to be like an ambassador, like what's it called? Like
you want her to be more accepting of
yeah, like we're trying to be accepted. Like we don't mind the aliens coming up here because like we're trying to be accepted by the other galaxies, so we're just it's all good. And I was thinking that too until I saw this timeline. From the time Mass Effect starts to the time they have first contact with other aliens has only been 26 years.
Yeah.
I am actually more surprised that we have even gotten to this point in 26 years to be a part of this galactic freaking republic or whatever they got here.
Yeah.
This is weird to me that only 26 years you already have an embassy. And then, by the end of Mass Effect, you are on the council and you're a Spectre.
Mm-hmm.
And like, I'm surprised as humans wanting to get ahead so fast. I'm like, darn, y'all just fucking got here. And I'm not surprised of aliens being very cautious around humans. Like, these motherfuckers just got here. We don't know these dudes. And like, for it to be as many humans embedded into the system within 26 years that quickly, maybe that's the problem with the story. Maybe that's a problem with how maybe the story shouldn't have been that soon. Maybe they should have made the years longer between the time humans made first contact with Turians till now. But based on that, Ashley's view is not racist at all, though. I mean, it's actually just a cautionary view of like, we just met these guys. We don't fully know, and everybody's for themselves, which is what species do. You're for your own species. No shit. Like, that's what you are. So, you're cautious of certain things. Thing is, some of the things that people say Ashley do that is racist, I guess people are more forgiving for aliens doing that. Because all the other aliens they do much worse than what Ashley does.
So I think that's the thing, right? Is like we have a familiarity with someone that looks like Ashley saying these things, and we associate that with racism. When, like you said, the aliens are doing much worse. You have Morton fucking practicing eugenics, and you have, all of the
genocide.
Yeah, exactly.
With the Krogan, basically.
Yep.
Almost.
Yeah.
Well, no.
The same with like the
but just stopping. But stopping their birth rate. Oh, well, with the Corians. Now, for me, I hate AI. AI is that should never be a thing. So I'm okay with the Koreans trying to kill the Geth, just that they took too long. But they tried to commit genocide by killing all the Geth, and the Geth basically committed genocide vice versa on the Koreans.
Right.
And basically kill almost like 90% of their population. But all those things is like, they look, like you said, it's a familiarity. Yes, because she's human. So you look at it like, oh, they should know not to be like this. But actually, this is you're not thinking logically. It's not you being racist like, I don't want to be. That's what I'm saying. That's not racism. That's just being cautious. If I'm not familiar with you, look what the fuck had happened to the Native Americans. Maybe they should have been a little more aggressive. Like when meeting people of that nature coming to the land. Not saying it would have worked, but I'm saying I think they were a little more giving than they probably should have been. Because look where it is now. Like, when has that ever worked out? That's the thing. In history, based on history, when has being like more giving to a new some new people, something have ever worked out for people? It really don't.
Yeah, rarely.
But
really,
I
think that's the thing, right? Is like, this is a video game where this is supposed to be an idealized world, and then you have someone like Shepard that if you play him as the quote unquote paragon good guy, he is obliviously accepting to anybody and everybody, and I think that's where you see that difference in someone like Ashley, and she starts to draw a certain kind of attention because you have another character to compare her to and go, well, Shepard's got no problem with it. How come you do?
Because he's a weirdo. Or she's a weirdo. That's weird. Oh, look, I'm looking at this trick play real quick. Oh, that was a good play. Okay, sorry. I'm watching football. But yeah, that is weird. Like, I think I become more weirded by Shepard that I play than Ashley. I think that's what it is. I think, like, I'm playing really a fantasy. Like, this is not so much science fiction. It's like with science fiction's elements, realistic elements around, but the actual story is fantasy.
Yeah.
Like, even, at least with Star Trek, you have, like, I do like Star Trek because they have it where, look, the Klingons, even though they're part of the, what the fuck is that shit? The Federation. Yeah. There is still tension, hard tension, and they have beliefs that would never go with with the human part. Mm-hmm. But they just find a middle ground where they can be, they won't be warring against each other. But they have beliefs and things that are just so far out there that if there was humanity doing it, you would feel like, oh, this is wrong. But see, I don't look at it like that. I don't look like they're wrong. I say that's just their culture. This is what they grew up as. I mean, this is what they evolved to. This is who they are. It's like they look at us as probably weak because of what the things we do. They say that's freaking weak, and it's understandable. And like, but people, I think you're trying to, like, you're looking at it. The people who call Ashley racist, like I said, I think it's something deeper. Like it's like you said, but I think also realistically, I still don't think those people know what racist like. They know what racism is, but I think they don't know where to draw the line. Where it's not being racist, is just being cautious. Like, you're just being protective. Like, you're not fully familiarized with the as Ashley's like, you're not familiarized with these aliens. And then, like, that's from the point of view of just how long humanity has been around aliens. Now, from her point of view, also, is that her family, her grandfather, he was part of that first contact war. And he surrendered to the Turians because the Turians, they were too strong. They were going to destroy them all. So he had surrendered. And he has been looked upon by other people of humanity like a failure. Like, you should have died fighting. Like, you should have went down fighting. Like, how are you going to surrender? And it looks bad for us. It looks bad on humanity that we surrendered to these aliens.
But if that's the case, shouldn't she look down on the humans that turned their back on her grandpappy?
I think she do, Daniel, but here's the thing.
I mean, she definitely
Daniel,
does because,
but that's like,
terra
just like
firma
I know
stuff.
that white people enslave black people. I don't hate all white people.
Yeah.
I don't hate everybody who's white.
Yeah, and I don't expect her to hate every human, but if she has these biases against aliens, why wouldn't she also have these biases against humans?
But what kind of biases should she have? She's been human. She is human. Like, well, how far does her biases go though? That's what I want to know. She's human though.
Yeah, but just because she's
so why would she?
One of them doesn't mean she has to side with them on. I wouldn't say everything.
I mean, you could disagree with what they did, but it doesn't mean I'll disagree with everything humans do. Like, I'll still be. I mean, okay, my fault. I'll use another example. Like, I'm an American, right? Now, a lot of people say for black people, like, why would you like this country? This country that's done all this stuff to your ancestors, and they doing stuff continually now. Thing is, what other country am I going to, who I'm going to be with? Like, what country am I going to go to? Like, where in the world is better for me to go to than here?
Yeah. Because you are still you share more similarities with the people of this country than you would another country.
Yeah. I mean, she probably has her issues with I'm sure she has an issue with the military, but they still respect it. And like she wants to prove herself. Like she's on the part of not just being against them, because you could go, I guess she could have gone the other way and just be like, fuck humanity. But she went the way of trying to prove herself to get back.
Yeah.
Their name. And that's the way she went. I mean, she could have gone another way, but she didn't. But that's the thing. But dang it, she doesn't hate aliens though. That's the thing. I don't get that she hate aliens at all. I just think she's being cautious around them. Like,
I think there's a level to her character that is written slightly more bigoted than just being cautious, though. I mean,
but see, I'm going. Well, see, I would agree with you. I told the writer said something to the writer,
and that's
of her.
the thing. I'm actually very surprised that there are no writers that seemingly have ever commented on this, because
the writer said he did not go the route, like the people were calling racist. He did not mean it to go that route. Like, that wasn't his intention.
So there are actually comments out there where he said that. Okay, gotcha. So, I didn't say anything like that.
Yeah, that it wasn't their intention. I'll give it to you. I think I saved it, but that wasn't their like intention. It came up that way. It was more just like a perspective kind of thing. But that's what I got it as. But like, okay, what's bigoted? That's the saying. Tell me the comment that's bigoted. That's what I need to know. What's the comment?
I mean, things bigoted? Like saying I can't tell the difference between the animals and the aliens, and saying things like when you're going in a relationship between her and Liara, basically saying like, she's not even a human. Why would you want to be with her? Now, like you said, it could be that.
Oh, see, I never
she's
got
going,
that.
You're more familiar with a human being. Why wouldn't you want to be with me instead of her? But it's still bigoted in a sense. She's biased against this person because of what she is. Okay.
I guess I can go with that. Maybe because I always went with Ashley. Always went all one way and all the other. I never played the middle ground.
Right. Gotcha.
Those characters. But with the human thing, that was supposed to be with the keepers. That was a mistake. That was supposed to be, she was referring to the keepers, but they didn't. I don't know what happened, but they said that they didn't put the dialogue in right. It's supposed to be referring to them. Even though the whole alien thing, before I even knew that, I'm okay. If it's bigoted, fine. Then I'm bigoted too, because first of all, like I said, we've only been around these people for 26 years. If I see a freaking Alcor, I'm not going to think that's sentient. Like, I mean, in a way, like me, I'm going to think it's like a humongous cow. And like, I'm not going to think of it. And if I see a Hanar, I'm thinking like, oh, it's a jellyfish. and it just floats. I'm not going to think it's something like, oh, I can talk to it.
Then it telepathically reads your mind, and you're like,
yeah,
oh, shit.
and I can have sexual relations with it. I wouldn't think that. Even though, I mean, I guess
can.
Or at least they could consent to it. I should say. But anyway, but like, okay, I mean, I'll go with that. But I'll be damned, I'm going to freaking just kill that character for that freaking line. And maybe that's just me. I'm not going to kill somebody with that line because it's fucking true to me. It's like, man, it's fucking true. If I see a fucking Elcor walking, I see a freak, because they're not even wearing pants. Everybody else is wearing clothes and shit. And these two creatures aren't. I'm just going to think, especially if I see, okay, I see an Elcor, a Hanar, and I see the Keepers. The Keepers aren't really, they're freaking drones and shit. And like, I'm not, so yeah, I definitely would not know who the hell, I wouldn't tell.
Yeah.
But yeah, but I do get that. I do get that line. But I feel like, but really, from all that, and then you get like, okay. Dude, I say, fine. It's like, I just feel like, the people who say he's racist, they're just going to stick with that. And because for me, I think I'm looking at more like, it's not so much I'm just mad at you thinking she's racist in this game, because she's not real, so it's not that important. It's more of me saying that means you probably don't know what real racism is then. Like, you don't know where to draw the line, like with somebody really being racist or not. Like, when they're not, more so when they're not being racist, you'll just say they're racist.
Yeah.
Because if you think that's racist, good God, I mean, that's a low bar. I mean, that's a low bar for it. Like, race, that's not racism to me.
Well, I want to say that people take the simplistic look on it is it's black and white in the video game because it's a video game. But I don't disagree that it probably does reflect on the way some people see the world also. And
I hope that's what it is, honestly. I hope that's what I know all of them not like that, but I hope most people is because it's a video game.
Yeah.
They look at it as black and white. I hope that's that's why they see it that way.
And I mean, I think she exists as a character for that exact reason, to show that this is the way that probably a good portion of the human population feels. And I think, like, your evolved stance on Shepard is like, he's the weirdo. I think you're actually supposed to this is me coming at it after the fact and having this discussion with you, but not knowing what the writer actually intended with it. But if they did intend to make her look even slightly racist or xenophobic or whatever description you want to put on it, biased in some form or fashion, like, she is supposed to be the majority of humans, right? Basically, like you said, it's only been 26 years. They had this first contact war situation. It wouldn't be a surprise that most of humanity would feel biased in a certain way, especially leading into this game where you're not even a part of the council. You're not being recognized as a member of this galactic federation yet. You're still being seen as a lesser. And that's why it's interesting that people do focus on Ashley, because kind of everybody in this game has those or similar or even more extreme biases, and now, because they're all out for themselves, trying to get their piece of the pie in this galactic federation, basically. And
now that I see how soon it is, like, I never really counted the years until recently. How I know it was soon, but then I was like, damn, only 26 years. So I'm thinking, like, man, humanity actually really moved up pretty damn fast. That I understand why the other races are jealous. Like, why the Batarians left. Because they're like, I don't know how long the Batarians been in that council, but just to see a race that just came and to move up that fast, I'll be pissed too. Like, who the fuck are these guys? They just got here. And the Turians feel like they feel. Now, the Turians, I don't understand how you start a war against a group of people without talking to them Like you see, they see somebody at the mass relays. How about you go? Your first thought is just to shoot them,
right?
Like that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like your first thought as a military, as a military group is to go, oh shit, I see some people over there. Let's go shoot them instead of going and seeing like what's going on, making kind of like first contact. I'm like, how did you make first contact with the Solarians and the and the blue people? Damn, I forgot their damn names.
The Asaris.
Sorry. Like how the hell? Oh, I mean, most likely they make contact with you first, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm like, why'd you thought that was a good idea just to shoot them? Yeah, you saw. They said they didn't know what somebody was doing against the mass relay, but I'm like, didn't y'all weigh the cons, pros versus the cons? Like, okay, maybe
now they're tiny humans, we can wipe them out.
Like, if they're not doing nothing, we might then start a war. But the way that I think I read is that they thought these were insignificant beings, like, because they thought that was their only planet. And they didn't know there was another planet. Like, that wasn't their first. That was the only planet they were from.
See, that's what I'd be interested to know, and maybe they've explored this and you'd be more familiar with it, but were the other species aware of humans before first contact and maybe just like keeping an eye on them?
Not that I know of.
Distance? Okay.
I think they wasn't aware of them till this war started.
Gotcha.
I mean, it wasn't really much of a war. It's more of a battle, but until that incident started.
Yeah.
Was when they seemed to be aware anyway. I don't know if the Asari like do about humanity though. Like I never read history of like them exploring places and seeing humanity maybe when they were young. They were just monkeys.
There were Mass Effect novels, right? Didn't you read some of those? Okay.
Yeah, I read some of them. I read like
I was thinking
I read
like
two
they
of them.
did all those Halo novels and they didn't do any Mass Effect ones, and then I was thinking, they totally did.
But I mean, there's more Halo novels though. I think Mass Effect maybe is 5, maybe, and because they done some. I think even when Andromeda happened, a few more came out. Halo, they done a lot with Halo. But thing is, with Halo novels though, canon's been messed up because of like when Reach came out, the game, it was like, wait a minute, they did a Reach in the book and it was nothing like what the game. Like none of those characters. So that's what a lot of people were kind of upset. Like people who read the novels, like, oh man, just like how Star Wars is now, because they had the Star Wars comic books that came out recently, but then they had the Clone Squad, the Bad Batch came out, and the first episode kind of messed up the canon of one of the characters of Kanan from from the Star Wars
the Rebels
Republic Heroes, Rebels. They messed up his canon because they put it different from what it was in the comic. So somebody was like, y'all said this was canon, but this is different from what happened in this first episode. And you know those people they get angry, Daniel. There's some angry nerds, and some people say, I'm done. They say, I'm done with this. I'm getting these comic books in this whole universe because y'all told us that you got rid of the freaking old books already. Y'all said that wasn't canon, and then I said okay, and then now y'all just changing canon while you have it. It's like just making them angry. But yeah, okay. So I think that's good enough to talk about the Asher thing, just to get that off my chest, to finally get that off my chest, and now I can I feel better. I can stop sending death threats to people who call it racist and everything.
I'm glad my email box was getting full, Dominic.
Yeah, just going through that.
It does. Like going back into this does make me think about going back and playing Mass Effect because those are good games, and it's been really long since I've played those games.
Yeah, and I'm just glad there's other people who feel like me, who agree, and they aren't the staunch conservative type of people who I just don't agree with anything going.
They're not just racist saying this charter isn't racist to hide that they're also
exactly.
racist.
That's what I was afraid of. It's like, oh man, I gotta go through probably the racist people. Like, okay, yeah, I don't like your reasoning. So,
yeah.
like,
Just
right,
because the
so I
aliens
guess
are in fact inferior doesn't mean she's
like,
racist.
I said no. She's right because she believes in God, and there's only God made us in His image. So
which God made the aliens?
They know they're an abomination.
Yeah,
they're like animals. They're like the animals.
Yeah,
like
that's what
they
she
don't
said.
have a heaven or something. They just happen to talk. Animals who can talk. They're like very smart parrots. All right.
Yeah. It doesn't also help that, like, not to keep dwelling on it, but like they make most of the aliens that you interact with in that game very humanoid, like bipedal, fucking one set of arms, mostly humanoid sized heads.
Well,
like,
if they would have let the
humanoid.
Krogans be naked, you'll see they have 4 balls.
There you go. I'd love to see that. I did see that on the website.
I think you can look on the hentai. I think this is up there.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you. I'll find a picture for it.
I'm glad those artists are keeping it to canon, making sure to follow all the.
But I still want to see. Well, I finally did see a female Turian in the newest Mass Effect. Because she's a character in the newest Mass Effect, the female Turian. They don't look that much different. I think the slope of the head may be a little bit different. But the Solarians, we saw the female one, but she had a hoodie on. The one.
Which one's the Solarian?
Solarians, the frog people. The amphibian ones.
Morden.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Like we saw the female one in the third one. She was the Dauntissus, the whatever they call it, whatever she was. The Duchess, not the Duchess, something along those lines. But she had a hoodie on, so I wanted to see what she just looked. If she just looked like men.
Yeah.
They look like how female frogs look like, just look the same. So like, and what is it? We seen that Kroger female, but she was all covered up too.
Yeah. They don't want to have to explain how they look different immediately. They're like, let's get like 6 games under our belts before we have to explain this.
Yeah. And they still haven't explained to me how do these different species have sex with each other. I need visuals.
Yeah, I was going to say, I definitely need visual aids on that.
Because this hentai stuff ain't helping me. They just, I don't think it's all...
They're just tentacles coming out of places, and I don't understand it at all.
But like, do the Saurians even have vaginas? Oh, it's just like a telepathic kind of link thing, right? Of just probably ecstasy or something.
I just assumed the Asaris were like Play-Doh, and they could just be whatever they wanted.
They could form to any genital that is to that species.
Exactly. That's what I was thinking. Or maybe it is just like a dream thing, and then you just,
Or like if a human has sex with a program, will he just kill her? How the hell does that work?
I don't know. I mean, yeah.
Star Trek they just do the easy way because the aliens just look like they all had the same genitals. They just look different on the face.
I mean, maybe that's how it is in this. Like you take off Rex's armor and he's just got a tiny human-like penis.
Even though I know the Klingons have rough sex.
How do you know this, Dominic?
Because I seen the episode. You don't, they don't show it, but they talk about it. Like it's like it's brutal. Like you can get hurt. I was like, oh
man.
But that turns some people on as humans, though. they actually they like that. I don't think I do though. All right. So I guess we'll get into what is new releases.
New releases. All right, Dominic. We got these new releases, most of which we actually already talked about because they were on Game Pass. It's really incredible the ratio of like how many things came out this week on Game Pass. First up, Flynn, Son of Crimson. That's out on PC, Nintendo Switch, PS4, and Xbox One. As you mentioned, is part of Game Pass. That game seems pretty cool. I want to check that out.
All right.
We also have Skatebird. That's out on the PC, Nintendo Switch, and Xbox One. Also part of Game Pass, as we mentioned. Another Game Pass one, I Am Fish. PC, Xbox One, Xbox Series X, as we mentioned earlier. This one I saw on Game Pass when I was downloading the other ones, but I remember the first one looking kind of interesting, but never playing it. Origami 2. This is out now on the PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X. It reminds me a lot of like stealth. What was that thing called? The like side-scrolling stealth game, Mark of the Ninja. Kind of reminds me of that.
Okay.
So I'd be interested to see how that's received, but that's on Game Pass as well. So if you got that, you can try that out. And again, as you mentioned earlier, Eastward is out on the PC and Nintendo Switch. That is not a part of Game Pass, unfortunately, but that does look and sound, from what you were saying, pretty cool. So I'm intrigued by that one. Also, we have Ni no Kuni 2, Reverent Kingdom, the Prince's Edition. That's now out on the Nintendo Switch. I don't remember how the first one ended up being on there, but I'm intrigued to see how that game runs on the Switch, just because it looks so good. It's one of those ones that just basically looks like it's a freaking Miyazaki movie. I've always been impressed with how...
Yeah. Ni no Kuni, it looked beautiful. I just wish it had I didn't like how they ended. I mean, when I ended, because I thought it was ending and there was still some more game left, and I was like, what are you doing?
There's still half the game left.
Yeah.
Yep. And then the big one this week, Dominic, Deathloop is now out on the PC and PS5 and will probably be out on Game Pass in about a year. This game looks pretty cool. Like, I'm finally seeing what the actual gameplay in it is.
After 50 trailers.
After 50 trailers.
And like gameplay videos of like playing it. Still not knowing, realizing what it was, even watching those gameplay videos they had, always showing on those PS, the PlayStation, State of Plays and things of that nature.
Because, they never show all the, like, menus and shit that you have in there. It's always just like, oh, yeah, you shoot some stuff, and then you go back in time. But, yeah, it seems pretty cool. Like, you're laying out these plans as to, like, who to go after. There are, like, these eight people that you have to go after, and then of course there's the woman that you see in the trailer a lot, and she like invades your game, but also like other players can play as that character and invade your game.
Okay, so that's how the multiplayer works. Okay. Almost like Invasion, and well, not exactly like but it kind of reminds me of Watch Dogs. Yeah.
Oh yeah, yep.
Oh, what'd you say?
Like Dark Souls. Like you can invade
Dark Souls. Okay. Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
But yeah, that game looks really cool. It looks like there's a lot of systems going on. Like you have all different powers that you're picking up and losing and whatnot. Very like a mix of a roguelike with a first person shooter with elements of Hitman is what I'm seeing as far as the gameplay of that stuff goes. But it's very intriguing to me. I think it looks really neat. And it's doing really well in reviews, so I'm glad to see that.
Exactly. I'm glad too, because I was scared. Remember last week I was scared it was going to bust or something, like, at least as far as reviews go, and hoping for 7s, and actually, man, it's got both 7s. Like, we're talking at high 8s and 9s.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's very cool. I'm glad that game is awesome, and I hope to see it on other platforms very soon.
Now, it's exclusive to next new gen, right?
Yeah, I don't think there's a PS4 version of Deathloop.
You know what? Looking at the game, though, man, I got it. I'm sorry. I have to say that I don't know why.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's, we're kind of at this point where unless you're like top dollar, you're probably not seeing that big a difference between games that would run on your PS4 versus games that would run on your PS5, especially if you're talking like PS4 Pro or Xbox One X, in between consoles. Plus, we're also familiar with seeing games on the PC which were more powerful than the consoles. So it's like, this isn't that much of a thing over that. The one thing I was surprised by for this game was the fact that it's $60 on the PS5, because I saw it for that much on Steam, and I was like, are they doing $70 or are they doing $70 on PlayStation? So I went to check out the price on the PlayStation and saw that it was only $60. So
explain to me why these other games are $70 because they're more
Sony wants them to be. Yeah, I wonder if this is like a thing that Microsoft decided, like we're going to stick with $60 to kind of like shove it in Sony's face, or if they're just like, oh, we're happy with $60. Because I think like Ubisoft games are still $60, right? It's really right now only
on
Sony first party. Let me see. I'm looking at the store right now.
Well, Sony's first party and some third parties too.
Yeah.
I mean, like 2K.
Mm-hmm.
And Madden, maybe Madden 2 EA. I'm not sure.
Let's see. Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Well, that might not be a great example because it's a year old. Yeah, $59.99, $29.99 right now though. Let's see. What other games do we have? PS5 games. Gonna look at 3D Billiards Pool and Snooker Remastered, Dominic. That is $24.99. God, there's a lot of trash right now, Dominic.
Like Returnal was $70. Was that $70?
Returnal was $70, yeah. But that was also Sony, so you know,
yeah, that's true.
It's one of those things where it's like, is Sony gonna push? Let's see what Battlefield is. Battlefield is gonna be $70 for pre-order right now. Borderlands 3 next level bundle but that's PS4 I don't PS5.
Think it's going to be a point, but at least right now in my life, I'm going to buy a game when it first comes out at 70.
Yeah. But
then again, because I'm going to have the Game Pass, so
right.
That's going to help. That's going to help me with that. Like even if the game is exclusive to the Sony platform, I'll I have a PS5, I would just be like, I'll wait.
Mm-hmm.
Either you get it or I'll wait. Like it's going to be one or the other. But yeah, I'm not seeing a good reason for it.
Mm-hmm. Those are really the only games I'm seeing at $69.99 is like Ghost of Tsushima, Final Fantasy VII. Because even like there's an Assassin's Creed Valhalla Deluxe Edition.
Final Fantasy VII Remake
PS4.
is $59.99.
It's $69.99.
My God.
Yeah.
I would have been pissed with $59.99. But damn.
Yeah, that's
like,
rough.
It would be $59.99 with the DLC though.
Yeah, it is with the DLC.
Yeah, but still $70. I don't give a damn. That's too much.
Yeah, you're basically paying $70 for the DLC. Although you could do like the upgrade or something, right? Wasn't if you purchased the game, wasn't there?
I want to say yes.
Yeah, because I think wasn't it like if you purchased the game, you could get a free upgrade to the PS5 version.
That doesn't count.
But
then
you had to buy, then you had to buy the DLC separate. It's so fucking complicated.
Yeah, it didn't count for the
the PlayStation Plus one.
Yeah,
which is shit. Because come on, let me play that on the PS5. At least let me have the free upgrade of graphics. Like I don't need the DLC, but
yeah. Man, that is
shitty. It's real shitty, Dominic.
Oh man, because it's like I don't have to buy a game again when I get like a new graphics card or just a new computer in general or something. If I upgrade, it's like,
yeah. That's why it's like, if Sony was like serious about this, they would just raise the price on everything and be like, games are more expensive to make nowadays. Whether you're getting the PS4 version or the PS5 version, it's going to be $70. And if you buy the PS4 version, you can upgrade to the PS5 version. And if you have the PS5 version, you can play the PS4 version. But regardless, it's going to be $70. Like, just if they were willing to make that commitment, which they are not, it would at least be less confusing. And I think people would be more understanding of an aspect of it. Like, they wouldn't be happy about it, obviously, but at least there would be some consistency there. Instead of all this confusing bullshit where it's like, oh, I can buy this version, but then I have to pay $10 to upgrade it. Or I can buy this version, I got to pay $20 to upgrade it. But if I buy this version, then I got to spend $30 to upgrade it. Just seems like a lot. So Anyway, Dominic, those are the games. You got anything else for the week?
Do I have anything else? No, I think I'm good, man.
All right. Thank you guys, as always, for listening. You can check us out on Twitter. Dominic is at DStallworth5. I am at Regulus MB. The podcast is at Supapod, SUPAPOD. Supapod.com is the website where you can check us out. It has all of our podcast episodes, as well as links to all the places you can find us, including YouTube, where there's a video version of this podcast, and then iTunes, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later.
All right, see you.